Baseball comes to you from Kauffman Stadium, where the Royals are off to a great start during this homestand. They go for a sweep tonight against the Cleveland Indians. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. And two keys for the Royals so far. They've been scoring runs early, and they've gotten good starting pitching from two right-handers. The Indians have a lot of left-hand bats in their lineup, so tonight the Royals are going to move up Bruce Chen one day.
I like the fact that Ned Yost wants the sweep. He's thinking day-to-day, just like you do in baseball. Now, he's doing that because the Tribe is only 10-22 versus left-hand starters. And for Bruce Chen in our Kia report, see you and raise you. Absolutely. He's only gotten 3 runs of support in his last 2 starts. And the fact that August could be a hot month for him, it has been in his past. 19-9, Bruce is. After going winless in July, he's due to get hot.
Royals have scored 13 runs in the first 2 games, led by the outfield. They're hitting over 500 in the series. Royals Baseball is brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. When you play, students win. And by your Kansas City Chevy dealers, the official vehicle of the Kansas City Royals. And the Royals have been piling up the stolen bases lately. Joel will talk about that when we come back.
all, tying a season-high 4 stolen bases on the game, and it all happened in the first 2 innings. Joel Goldberg back at Kauffman Stadium, and back-to-back nights the Royals have had Kane, Getz, Escobar, and Dyson all in the lineup together for the first time this year. That means a lot of base running ability, and as Chris Getz told me today, you could add in Eric Hosmer and Alex Gordon, who really know how to run the bases, and you've got 6 out of 9 in the lineup who can make some things happen. Base running coach Doug Sisson saying it is part of our identity. They hope to be off to the running shortly. First pitch coming up next from the K.
Definition by Time Warner Cable, the official TV, internet, and home phone provider of the Kansas City Royals. Good to see Tom Watson here tonight wearing his Royals cap right behind home plate with family, hoping to see the Royals sweep the Indians tonight. And here's their starting lineup, which looks a lot different from the first 2 nights, with Bruce Chen on the mound, just 2 left-hand batters in there, Shin-Soo Choo and Michael Brantley. Bruce already 1-0 against Cleveland this year. He beat them on May 30th. And Bruce has won 5 of his last 6 decisions against the Cleveland Indians. And he's in with a strike to Shin-Soo Choo.
Well, I think the reason that Ned swapped Guthrie and Chen was because of the low batting average that the Tribe has against left-handed pitchers this year, just .219. And Choo just got his 3rd hit in 17 at-bats against Bruce. Defending behind Bruce is that always steady infield, but the outfield has been showing some pretty good range out there as well as the infielders. Lorenzo Cain has shifted over to right field, made some room for Dyson, and that combination has worked out pretty well as far as wins go for the Royals. Now Cain, he's getting his legs underneath him. 5th start in right. Frenchie will probably get out there tomorrow, but it's been a good run with a combination of Dyson and Cain.
And he was thrilled to see the Royals dugout tell him to come in a little bit with Brent Lillibridge at the plate. That gets him out of the sun in right field, so he's in the shadows. That strip of sunlight that goes from center field over toward the right field foul pole lasts about an inning. And Lillibridge pulls it in the air to left center field, where Dyson comes up to make the play. Nice cool day in Kansas City, only 94 degrees. Got some rain this morning. Temperature stayed in the 70s until about 10 a.m. or so. Game started right on time at 7:10. Time and Temp presented by the parking spot at KCI. How you holding up with the weather?
Man, it's an Arctic breeze coming through. What a difference. I mean, really just a few degrees, but it's pleasant. And hopefully it'll stay pleasant with the atmosphere, the winning atmosphere, the last two games. They've been executing, running the bases hard, getting some good pitching. And really, I think they got the right guy, Bruce Chin. He's got his team leading 23rd start today to get the sweep. Big outing for Bruce. Got all kinds of pitches for the Tribe. They all know that. He's got fastball, curveball, slider change, different arm angles, different speeds to each pitch. He is a crafty lefty.
And Chu was headed towards second base, but he's able to scramble back to first.
Looks like Chu was trying to get a little walking lead. That throw was down the bag. They had him. Bruce does a nice job with the running game.
And Chu takes off. Cabrera takes high, and Pena's throw is to the right of second base. And Chu steals his 12th of the year.
So I looked down at the Cleveland Indians dugout and I saw Manny Acta clap 2 or 3 times after that stolen base. I think he's wanting to take a page out of the Royals playbook from last night, the way they stole 4 bases. And that's a big key to get that runner over into scoring position early.
And that would be the Indians' first stolen base of this series. While the Royals have gone 5 for 5 in the first 2 games, and now Chu wants third. Pena's throw this time is right on the money.
No clapping from Acta there. But Brian Pena, he could see him going, and there it was, a perfect feed to Moose. That's what it is. Good quick release, but it's where you put that ball in close plays is going to make the difference. That super slow motion tag, that gets you right down in the action, folks.
And that's a big play as Cabrera singles to left field. So because of the caught stealing, he's at first with 2 down.
And that stolen base that Chu got at second, that was nice. But you know, really, that's all he needed to do. He didn't need to push it any further. Now, instead of the momentum, now they got punched in the gut. So good for Bruce. Nice play by Brian Pena. It is 1 start a week. If he does one good thing, and that was it, threw out that runner, that's a good night for Pena. If he gets a hit, that's a bonus.
Well, and we've been talking about the importance of the Royals scoring all these runs early in the game. The Royals have scored 13 runs in the first 2 games. 12 have come in the first 3 innings. So the Indians, they're trying to get the upper hand in game 3, and because of Brian Pena's throw, makes it more difficult for Cleveland to get a run in the first inning, but that would certainly have been a lift for them to jump ahead. They had a huge series here in Kansas City, the Royals' first home series of the year. Not only did the Indians sweep the Royals in 3 games, they scored 32 runs. And in the first 2 games of this series, they've scored 5. 1 ball, 1 strike on Carlos Santana.
So it's payback time. Carlos Santana, 227 as a right-handed batter against lefties. Just 2 homers. Now that's one thing that Bruce will hope that he can do. Try to keep those guys in the yard. Right-handers have hit 16 homers with a 288 average off of Bruce this year. Lefties 4 homers, 268 average. So it's the big breaking balls that sometimes hang in the zone and some of those fastballs that aren't located properly that get hit out. So he'll have to keep the ball down.
Well, Santana homered in last night's game as a left-hand batter on a pitch that was well located.
It was, but credit him for getting a little lift, a little uppercut on that stroke. Just barely got over the wall. They had to do a little replay on it, but sure enough, it was over.
Santana bats 4th as Manny Acta shifts the lineup around against a left-hand pitcher. A little better batting average, a lot more power from the other side. He has a very good eye, among the league leaders in walks, but he will pop up here to the left side. Moustakas makes the play, and Bruce Chen gets around the game-opening single and stolen base from Shin-Soo Choo. Against right-hander Corey Kluber, and early runs have been a key for the Royals, not just in this series. They have scored 12 of their 13 runs in the first 3 innings, but in the Royals' last 12 wins, they've scored 2 or more runs in the first 3 innings.
I hope it happens again, but Gordon, you see he hasn't even had an at-bat yet, and look at his back. It's already got that signature pine tar hash mark on his back. That's from his practice swings that he does every time the same way for every at-bat of the year. He has his thumb guard in his mouth. He does his full swing hacks, and that's where he gets that pine tar on there early. Corey Kluber, welcome to the big leagues as a starter. He was up as a reliever last year, where he had an 8.31 ERA and 3 relief appearances in September, but this is his first big league start. You can see what he's done. He's a pretty tall guy, 4 basic pitches. He's got a fastball around 90, 94 possibly. He'll cut it, slide it. His out pitch is his slider, curveball, and a changeup.
And Alex greets him with a drive to deep right field, and the Royals are on the board. 1 pitch into the bottom of the first inning.
Welcome to the show, young man. You just gave up a big league dinger. Nice stroke, Alex Gordon. Ooh, that's so much easier than having to leg out those doubles he's been doing. Take that one swing with that approach. Got some back underside, a little carry on that ball. That ball wasn't walking. Almost took a drink.
And that's Alex's first home run since June 12th, and that was a leadoff home run against Zach Greinke.
Seventh career leadoff homer, right down the middle, first pitch. He knew it was coming, obviously. Sometimes you guess first pitch and you're wrong, and sometimes you're right.
0-2 now on Escobar, who almost got one in between Santana and the bag on the right side, and big smile on Alex's face. He doesn't have to answer any of the when are you going to hit another home run question.
At least not as much as Chris gets.
And down in the count, 0-2. Escobar goes the other way. He's hit in 6 straight games.
He's a very confident hitter. All of the Royals are now. All of a sudden, see, things run in cycles. It's just the game is so strange. You never know when it's going to hit you the losing bug and when's the winning mojo going to start. And it's already started here at the K with the Royals. Okay, Rotino, he's in left field. He's fairly new to this ball club. Brantley, Sin-Chu out there. Lou Marson's getting the catching job. Santana's over there at first base. Now, he hadn't played a whole lot of first base. But this is a pretty good fielding team. Their fourth best fielding percentage in the American League.
And now Escobar runs. Marson's throw is high. So the Royals just keep on running against the Indians. They're 6 for 6 in this series. And Escobar has his 19th of the year.
All right. Indians stole a base. So did the Royals. Escobar is on the path. Good little sit-down pop-up slide. In scoring position for Lorenzo Cain, who's very aggressive and has been productive in that 3-hole with a .320 batting average with runners at second and beyond.
And Cain takes one under the chin. 2 balls and no strikes. 4 hits for Cain in the first 2 games. He has a stolen base, and he's driven in 2 runs.
Any starter that's making their major league debut as a starter is a little bit nervous, and the first inning is always tough, no matter really if you're a veteran or you're a young guy, because you're trying to gauge your pitches. But you get to a guy like this early, could really put some doubt in his mind.
And a base hit into center field. Escobar's going to be waved home, and Brantley's throw will be cut off. So a good call by third base coach Eddie Rodriguez. And the Royals have 2 in the bottom of the first inning with nobody out.
Okay, he's aggressive, and if you don't have any exceptional movement, which Kluber doesn't, he's just kind of a basic pitcher. He's trying to keep the ball down, and the Royals aren't letting him get in this game at all. Still nobody out and 2 runs across, and Escobar's happy.
So that's 15 runs for the Royals in the series, and 14 coming in the first 3 innings. Billy Butler somewhat quiet. He's just 1 for 9 in the series with a run scored and an RBI. Leading the Royals with 20 home runs, 1 shy of his career high. He had 21 in 2009, and leading the Royals with 65 RBIs. I can't remember a year like this one where the Royals have faced so many pitchers for the first time. I mean, it seems like once a week they're preparing for a pitcher they've never faced before, at least as a starting pitcher.
Yeah, it's been one of those years, especially early in the season. It seemed like twice a week we were seeing new guys. And you know, there's a process there. It's all about, you know, getting comfortable for the starting pitcher. But as a hitter, you want to see as many pitches as you can. You do watch the guy on video in the locker room before the games, but you know, that's not the same thing. I mean, it's nothing like being in the box hitting him. But I like the fact that the Royals, they're being aggressive. They're not up there taking. They're hacking.
1-2 on Billy Butler. And the Royals, that's not a bad number. Now, it helps to be a young team. Veteran players hate facing a guy they've never seen before, because for them it's been a long time since they played in the minor leagues or they played in college or high school. When you're facing a guy you've never seen before, you have very little information on him. There's no video available. You just go up and do your best. But guys who've been around for a while, they feel a lot more comfortable going to the plate, having seen a guy 10 to 30 times.
Sure, but still, I mean, you know, this inning here is nice. I mean, you know, being around 500 against guys like that, I could almost predict that it's been about even. But so many numbers in baseball, it's just day to day. You never know until they compete between the lines and execute.
And Billy takes a count from 0-2 to 3-2.
Now, with nobody out, we'll see if Ned sends Lorenzo Cain at first base. Billy has hit into a few double plays this year. 13 to be exact. So sometimes you want to send that runner if you can, especially if he's got a little speed with nobody out. Chance if they do strike him out, got a chance to steal the base.
And Cain does run as Billy chops it to short. So Cabrera's play is to first, and that's the first out of the inning.
So if you don't send the runner, it's a double play. So good job, Ned.
And now Mike Moustakas is hoping that this inning will rub off on him with 2 runs, 3 hits. Moustakas is 0 for his last 20. And even with that, he's driven in 10 runs against the Indians this year.
So look for that first good one you like.
You're talking about Alex Gordon is his pre-at-bat routine and all the pine tar on his bat. Mike Moustakas and players will do anything to try and change their luck. He's going with a clean helmet.
Yeah, we noticed that. And we even had on our Twitter questions last night. Some lady asked him about why was that so dark, his helmet? It's all that pine tar. You know, you can clean that tar off of there. So I don't know if we got you can see last night. You can see it's a little grimy. It's got some first half pine tar on there. But you know, you can get a little alcohol put on there and clean it up real good. Looks like new. Start over again. Nice if he could get a base hit with a stake attached to it here. That'll help him. His confidence.
Got to pitch up. He jumped all over it, but way out in front, hits it to the far corner of the upper deck. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Royals scored 1 in the first inning on Tuesday in game 1, 2 last night in the first inning, and now 2 in the first inning tonight.
See if he alters his swing here with 2 strikes on him. See if he shortens it up a little bit, tries to just go for the base hit.
And a slider, and Moustakas swings over the top. 2 down in the first.
Okay, that's that slider I talked about as being his out pitch. Pretty good one. Has a nice bite to it. That's where it started out that fooled it. Started out down low and then it went lower. That's Moose's wheelhouse down there.
So Brian Pena with Cain at second base, 2 outs. Brian appears in this series for the first time. And it's the 3rd straight start for Pena with Bruce Chen on the mound. Look at that. In the most clutch of situations, 2 outs with runners in scoring position, Brian Pena hits .563.
It's better hitter from the left side. Although he's about the same. Right-handed, he's batting .275, left .271. Does have 1 home run. That's as a lefty.
3 balls, no strikes. Corey Kluber is 26 years old. He went to Stetson University in Florida. He was the Atlantic Sun Conference Pitcher of the Year in 2007. He was 12-2. And then the Padres took him in the 4th round that year. 3 years later, he was traded to the Indians. 3 balls and 1 strike on Brian Pena. It was a 3-team trade that sent Corey Kluber to the Indians. It was a trading deadline deal the same year, about the same day that the Indians acquired Zach McAllister from the Yankees. And McAllister started for the Indians last night, and the Royals beat him. 3-2.
Okay, so far it's a good at-bat for Brian.
That's his first swing after seeing all these pitches. So he's in the game now for 3-2. Hopefully Kluber will lay a pitch in there for him. Kluber knows Hosmer's on deck, even though it's not the Hosmer that we believe we're going to see someday eventually with all of the power potential. But I think he wants to go after Pena here. So Brian can look for something to drive.
Just got a piece of it, still 3-2.
That's a good pitch there. Tied him up.
So the Royals will make him throw at least 25 pitches in the first inning. So you get the 2 runs. The first 6 hitters have gotten a good long look at Corey Kluber, with the other 3 hitters, Eric Hosmer, Chris Getz, and Gerard Dyson, also getting a long look at his stuff tonight.
Boy,
another foul ball.
Good AB. If Pena wins this with a base hit and knocks in Kane, that'll really hurt him. So with 2 outs, talk about it before, the 2-out runs the Royals have been getting lately have been very advantageous to their team, and not the opponents. Especially this young man trying to get out of the first inning in his major league start. Base hit here will rock his world.
5 of the Royals, or 3 of the Royals' 5 runs last night, coming with 2 outs. And all 3 of those in innings where the inning started with 2 outs and nobody on base. Alex Gordon homered to open the inning. Escobar singled. Kane singled to get Escobar to the plate. And now Marson and Kluber are going to talk over what they want to do 3-2 with Pena.
Better be careful. Out over the plate. Pretty good record the Royals have when they score first. 33-15. But you want to just rub it in right here. Get all you can.
And Pena gets a walk. So it's an even longer inning for Kluber, as the Royals will send at least 7 to the plate. And now he's going to hear from pitching coach Scott Radinsky.
Okay, talking with Scott before the game. Good guy, Scott Radinsky. It's always fresh to talk to an intelligent young man. He said, you know, this young man here, he might have had a chance to make our team, but him and his wife had a baby during spring training, and so that kind of threw him off, you know, as far as getting his innings in, being a starter. And so, you know, he had a little breakup, and the baby came at the wrong time for him to make the team. However, we like this kid's future, and we think he can, you know, be a part of our future.
While we have a moment, we'll tell you that the final installment of T-Shirt Tuesday is coming up August 14th with the Oakland A's in town. The first 10,000 fans receive the winning T-shirt from the Fan Design and Fan Vote contest presented by Champion Windows. The gates open at 5:30, so get here early for that. Royals and the Oakland A's. 2 on and 2 out for Eric Hosmer, who takes in the dirt for ball 1. Eric is hitless so far in this Royals-Indians series, 0 for 6. He did score a run in game 1 on Tuesday. The Royals won that game 8-3 and took last night's game 5-2.
Still a little bit long and hard with his swing. He can just shorten up, trust them lethal hands of his.
Drilled to deep center field. Back goes Brantley. 3-run home run for Eric Hosmer. Violet to Bombardier.
Open up those doors. Man, was that nice. He shortened up his swing, sure enough. And they are bombing the young man in the first inning. Ooh, that felt good since June 25th. Nice piece of hitting. Watch how short his swing is. Ooh, that's short in the strike zone. Nice long follow through, but look at the results. Dead center. Can't square a ball up any better than that. Take a picture of this swing. Look at the head position. Well, that right leg almost bent in. It was so far extended.
Second time in this series, the Royals have had a 5-run inning. 1 ball and 1 strike on Chris Getz, and now it's a 30-pitch inning for Corey Kluber. June 25th was the last time that Eric Hosmer homered, so both Alex Gordon and Eric Hosmer snapping long home run droughts in the first inning.
And if you would have told me before the season started that he wouldn't hit his first 3-run home run until August 2nd, I would have said, what? But that's the kind of year it's been for him, but still productive, especially with his glove. And you see the potential there with that really nice stroke.
So Kluber in his first major league start has given up 5 runs, 4 hits, 2 home runs. He's also walked a hitter, and now he's 3 balls and 2 strikes with Chris Getz. And Getz hits a bullet into right field. That will roll deep.
Go ahead.
He is on his way to third base. He is in with a triple.
Only thing left off a Royals bat is the double for the team cycle. Inside fastball. Looks to me straight as a string. And Royals, it's just contagious, everything in baseball. And Getz, he's been having some good games, and he starts this one with a good one. Now look, he almost blew a tire here going around second. Kind of lost his footing there, but he's able to keep it. It's in there for Getz his 3rd triple. Speed on the bases. And around him.
So Dyson will bat. The Royals will send all 9 to the plate. And Gerard with 5 hits and 7 at-bats, starting in center field both games of the series, and 3 of the 5 hits have been for extra bases. And he's hacking at the first pitch, a 35-pitch first inning for Kluber. All signs pointing toward Jeff Francoeur returning to the starting lineup tomorrow night when the Royals begin the series with the Rangers.
And all signs from the Cleveland bullpen is that there's nobody up. No one coming in as there's another base hit.
So it's a 6-run bottom of the first inning, and Alex Gordon, who started all this with a home run, will bat again.
All right. Gerard Dyson gets the ball over the plate like most Royals have in this inning. They're not letting Kluber get settled in yet. He's not executing his pitches, and they're making him pay. Now Dyson goes around hard at first base and almost drew a throw from Bruce Chin. I'd like to see that. Especially out of Dyson. He's got that kind of speed. He can manipulate the outfielders.
And he's running. So the Royals are really trying to pour it on, and Dyson steals second base. So the Royals have 2 tonight. They have 7 in the series with the Indians, and now the Royals have 9 stolen bases in their last 4 games.
Ooh, man, pedal to the metal, and it's nice to see. Gerard Dyson, that super slow motion there, rips off his 19th bag. He's just been caught 3 times. And in the first inning, get as many as you can and be as aggressive as you can.
One and one on Alex. He homered to right field to open the game. His first home run in 188 at-bats. Our Toyota League leaders. Times on base in the American League, and look at the names behind Alex Gordon. 178 times. He is the Royals team leader in hits and in walks. So he went almost 2 months without a home run, going back to June the 12th against Milwaukee. And Eric Hosmer, who's also homered in this inning, he had gone over a month without a home run. And Marson was crossed up, so he got a pitch he wasn't expecting. And that allows Dyson to move up to third base. Whew. A reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. That is ruled a pass ball on Marson, although it looked like it might not have been his fault. Even though it looked like an easy pitch to handle, it was not the pitch that he was expecting. So he and Kluber had a short chat in between the mound and home plate.
And I'm sure Laz Diaz wasn't expecting that one either, but fortunately it didn't hit him. Home plate umpire.
This has been a 40-pitch inning for Kluber. And remember, anytime a pitcher goes over 20 pitches in an inning, that's considered a long inning. And he's doubled that. Still 2-2.
It's got to be a little frustrating for Kluber, but the Royals don't feel sorry at all. They've caught their cycle of losing, and now they're out of it, and they're moving forward. Pass that losing baton to Cleveland. Let them carry it for a while. And competing in every single at bat.
Well, you really have no control over whether you're going to score in the first 3 innings, but it really seems to be an objective, a goal for the Royals to really come out strong in this Cleveland series, not just swinging the bats, but running the bases, long plate appearances, drawing walks. Kluber ends a long first inning with a strikeout. 43 pitches. It all started with Alex Gordon's 6th home run of the year, and then Eric Hosmer with a 3-run shot. The Royals get 6 in the first.
Shock the house. A track meet's broken out here.
Royals. Hey, parents, bring your kids out to Royals Kids Fest coming up on Sunday against the Rangers. The first 5,000 kids through the gates receive a sports necklace courtesy of KC area Chevy dealers. Royals.com, 1-800-6-ROYALS for tickets. Well, Luis Mendoza had been struggling with run support. The Royals supported him early with 4 runs in the first 2 innings, and now Bruce Chen, who's had his issues with run support this year, He takes the mound in the second inning with a 6-0 lead.
Wow. You know, that does a lot for a starting pitcher, early runs. I mean, just the fact that you don't have to really hold your breath on every pitch, and just takes away the nervous edge. Go ahead and pound the strike zone and use your defense, especially as spectacularly as the Royals defense have been playing lately. Man, they make the routine ones, but they've been making the ones that are outstanding, robbing some players of some hits.
Still 1-2 on Brantley. Coming up on 2 years since the Royals have scored 6 runs in the first inning. 23 months to be exact. And it was September 12th, 2010 at Chicago. Last time the Royals had a 6-run first inning. Of course, that was on the road, so that was to begin the game. A 6-run top of the first. Big hits from Alex Gordon and Eric Hosmer. Lorenzo Cain and Gerard Dyson also had RBI singles in the inning. And now Brantley lines it to right field. Cain was shallow, so it sails over his head and up against the right field wall. Brantley will stop at second base. He's among the league leaders in doubles, and that is his 30th.
Cain slipped, and I'm not sure he would have had it had he broken straight back. That ball was barreled up squarely. Hardest thing to do is to square up a round ball with a round bat. But that was one there.
Jose Lopez takes ball one, playing at third base. Jack Hanahan, who had a couple of doubles last night, a left-hand batter, so he's out of the lineup with Bruce Chen on the mound. Lopez is 0 for 5 in the series, and last night hit into a double play, which was one of the prettiest double plays we've seen this year, and that's saying something. When Lopez in the 7th inning last night grounded to Moustakas, who went diving on the left side, threw to Chris Getz, who had to stretch to receive the throw, and then he still made an on-target throw to Hosmer to complete the double play. And Ned Yost said after the game that that was one of the more difficult double plays the Royals have turned this year. Into center field. Dyson back into a patch of sunlight. Brantley will tag, and he will advance with one out. So runner at third, one away. And we'll take a look at tonight's Time Warner pitch speed comparison. And Kluber threw 95 miles an hour in the first inning. Royals scored 6 off of him. Bruce Chen is topped out at 86. You can get downloads up to 50 megabits per second with Time Warner Cable Ultimate Internet. And this is Vinny Rotino, who is making his Indians debut. Vinny Rotino started this year with the Miami Marlins, or rather last year played with the Miami Marlins, coming over from the Mets organization. Originally signed as a non-drafted free agent by the Brewers, and he is from Racine, Wisconsin, which is right outside of Milwaukee. And when he was in the Brewers organization, Ned Yost was the manager. He gets a fly ball out into right field. Lorenzo Cain is going to come up throwing, and Brantley is safe with the Indians' first run. Ryan Pena thinking maybe Brantley slid over the Pena's foot in home plate, and Brantley may have tweaked his ankle as Pena had his left foot on home plate. It's a 6-1 game.
He got up a little slow. Lorenzo couldn't quite get in back of it like he wanted to. He's getting used to the right field, the way the ball tails towards the line, so he tried to get himself in back, but you could see where Looked like his right ankle got a little twisted up there on Pena's left foot.
And now Shelley Duncan, the Indians' designated hitter, who appears in the series for the first time. One ball, one strike. One and two.
Well, he's a big guy. He looks to do one thing. That's try to pull one over the fence. Long swing.
Still one ball, two strikes. Duncan had a big series against the Royals when they were here in April and scored all those runs. He had a home run, 5 runs scored, 4 RBIs, 5 walks, and that was right after the Indians had announced that they had signed Johnny Damon, and Duncan knew that that was going to cut into his playing time, and he made quite a statement in that series, as did the Indians. But in this series, it's been all Royals. They've won the first 2, and at the end of an inning and a half tonight, they have a 5-run lead. CEO of the Kauffman Center for the Performing Arts, which opened in September of 2011. She has held multiple community leadership positions throughout the greater Kansas City region for more than a decade and was recently recognized as one of City Union Mission's 2012 Women Who've Changed the Heart of the City. So Buck would be proud to have Jane sitting in his seat tonight, and he would be proud to watch the Royals the way they swung the bats, scoring 6 runs in the bottom of the first inning off of Corey Kluber. So Kluber survived that. 43 pitches, 6 runs, 6 hits, and a walk turned into a run. He did strike out 2. Escobar was part of that big inning. After Alex Gordon homered, Kluber came back and jumped ahead of Escobar, no balls, 2 strikes. So it looked like that was going to be a good bounce back at bat for him, but then Escobar singled and stole second base, came around to score, and once again Alcides down, no balls and 2 strikes.
Hey, well, that adjustment now that Kluber's going to make this next inning, he's going to have to bring in some secondary pitches. That fastball, man, he knows that the Royals are all over that pitch. You better start going to that breaking ball early and often.
Well, he tried to get Escobar to chase that one. He wouldn't bite.
what makes Escobar such a good, ideal number 2 hitter is the fact that he can do the things in that second hole that not everyone can do. He hits the ball to the right side, so if there is a runner on, he can move him over to third. He can bunt. He takes pitches. Very comfortable in this spot. And we're seeing him mature about 2 years in this 1 year here.
It's pretty remarkable the way he's turned his game around. And it's not just the numbers, but his approach. I mean, figuring out that swing up the middle and to the right side. Cabrera cuts off the chopper and throws him out. So Escobar is 1 for 2. Let's welcome in Joel Goldberg.
Well, Ryan, thanks. You know, it was interesting talking to Kevin Seitzer about Kluber because, you know, as you guys mentioned before, the Royals have faced enough pitchers that they haven't seen ever before, guys making their first starts in the big leagues. But he said that there really wasn't a lot of video out there on him, and the last piece of video that he got from a game was July 12th, the minor league game, but there were no velocities listed on it. So he could see the movement, but not the velocity. He went back and looked at Kluber's 3 appearances in the big leagues out of the bullpen last year, saw the velocity on that, and took a couple miles an hour off since he was just pitching an inning or so. But he told the guys before the game, this is in part a speculative game plan, or a speculative scouting report, I should say. Feel him out in the first inning, see what happens. I think it went pretty well.
Yeah, no kidding.
Look at all the breaking balls Kluber's throwing now.
You know, I tell you, he's got a pretty good slider. I mean, he struck out Moustakas with his slider. He struck out Alex to end that long inning with a slider, and he made Lorenzo look bad on the first pitch in this at-bat. Just hasn't been able to put himself in a position where he can use that pitch. And he's got pretty good heat, a fastball at 95.
Imagine what they did in the, 40s, 50s, 60s, before they even had any videos. You know, those old-time ball players, they just went out and, well, let's see what he's got the first time around. You know, they didn't have any scouting reports. They kept the game simple, see it and hit it. And then the first guy would go back to the dugout and tell all the guys what he saw. Nowadays, they're able to take the use of that video and see the starting pitcher that night. Big advantage.
Well, I remember when we were in Seattle and Joel did a report on Will Smith and how much Will Smith had to learn how to manage all the information that was thrown his way when he got to the big leagues for his first tour. And then second time up, he had a better understanding of what was useful information, what was not useful information, because there is so much. Kane grounds out to short, 2 up, 2 down, in the bottom of the second inning. Here's tonight's Sprint You Call It question. Who's been most impressive since the All-Star break? Alex Gordon, 373, home run, 10 doubles, leads the major leagues in that department. Alcides Escobar, 15 runs driven in. Lorenzo Cain, 17 RBIs since the break. Or Billy Butler, who's been steady all season long. He has 4 home runs, 13 driven in. Text 432-432. Enter keyword Royals, followed by a space, then A, B, C, or D. Your thoughts?
My thoughts, which are usually very shallow, but I will include, I think that the rest of the guys have been getting a lot of love this year. I'm going with Kane with the 17 RBIs. It's Low Kane's turn to get a little love.
Joel?
I'm going to dig down to the shallow depths of the Mississippi Delaware River, too.
Yeah, right where they intersect.
Yeah. I agree with HUD. And they were all great performances since the All-Star break. But, you know, Billy's been doing that for a while, even though he sits now. I'm going to go with Kane after the injury.
And I'll make it 3, voting for Lorenzo Cain. 6-1 Royals at the end of 2 at Kauffman Stadium. the third inning, and tomorrow we head into a series with the Texas Rangers. Game 2 is Saturday night. It's a 5:10 game because it's the annual Faith and Family Night at Kauffman Stadium. The event will feature a post-game speech by Rangers slugger Josh Hamilton and a performance by Dove award-winning artist Building 429. Again, 5:10 on Saturday.
What, did you see the highlights of that Rangers-Angels game last night? And how Texas came back on them, 3 runs down in the 10th, and they beat them. Now they're up 6-2.
The Kansas City chapter of the Carlos Zambrano fan club is here tonight. Always good to see. Oh, and 2 on Lou Marson.
How would you like to be a Cubs fan? I know these fans are a little frustrated, but yeah, if you were a Cubs fan, could be rough.
Big changes during the offseason, so I imagine there's a bit of a grace period at the moment. Marson grounds out. So first time through against Bruce Chen. Indians with 1 run on 3 hits. Bruce got around a couple of singles and a stolen base in the first. And then Brantley doubled and scored in the second. Royals gave Bruce 6 runs, all those coming in the bottom of the first inning. Alex Gordon, Eric Hosmer hitting home runs. Kane and Dyson also driving runners in. So second time through, and Shin-Soo Choo. And he is 2 out of 2 tonight. And he has only 3 hits in the series. He has not scored a run yet. That's been key for the Royals because Chu is among the league leaders in runs scored, but for the most part the Royals have kept him off the bases and kept him off of home plate.
Yeah, I don't think he really cared too much about that golden sombrero he took last night. That's 4 strikeouts. So he's back tonight saying, I'm going to be aggressive. And he's been aggressive early in the counts in his at-bats. Bruce trying to get that strike 1 in there. He's all over it.
Brent Lillibridge at the plate. Chu stole second in the first and then was caught stealing, trying to take third. So the Indians, who have really struggled in the second half scoring runs, they have scored 3 runs or less in 11 of their last 13 games. So Chu trying to push the envelope, but took it a base too far, and now he goes to second base with 1 out on the base hit from Lillibridge.
Moose was dying to get his glove on this one. It was a little out of his range. And with Bruce Chen pitching, not overpowering, a lot of breaking balls into right-handed dominated lineups, third baseman and shortstops get a lot of action. Hitters are out in front.
As Drupal Cabrera singled to left in the first inning. In the first 2 games, the Cleveland Indians 1 through 4 hitters drove in 1 run. Luke Hochevar, Luis Mendoza, and the Royals bullpen pitching them very well in the first 2. Cabrera way out in front, hits it high into the left field corner and out of play. Last year, as Drupal Cabrera hit 25 home runs for the Indians.
Give this fan a contract. Look at the positioning he had on that. I mean, he didn't even have to move, and that ball was hit very high in the air. Good judgment there.
Two and 1. That's a tough play to make if you have a glove.
I'm telling you.
2-2. That's a shot right by third base coach Steve Smith. And this is when a third base coach is very vulnerable because he can't really concentrate on the hitter. He has to have all of his focus on the second baseman and the shortstop and make sure one of them doesn't sneak in behind his runner at second base.
And like I mentioned, a lot of off-speed pitches get pulled down in that hot corner down there, so heads up.
Just past Chris Getz. The Indians had to freeze because it was a line drive, so nobody will score. Everybody moves up one base. And they're loaded up with one out.
Last two hitters have hit balls just right by our fielders. Getz couldn't get that. Now they're loaded up with one out. Brian Pena's talking to Bruce saying, all right, you know what? We can get him out here if you keep this ball down. See if we can get Santana to hit into the lane.
And Bruce got Santana on a pop out to third in the first inning. Santana has grounded into 5 double plays, and he fouls one off of his foot.
Ooh. So the backswing by Santana clobbers Pena over the head. That's why you wear that helmet on there.
Santana this year with 10 home runs, 42 driven in. And now Santana, Bruce Chen, and Brian Pena just can't get into sync. One and one.
It's a big at bat for Cleveland. They can get back in this game with a well-placed ball. Bruce wants to have him hit it at somebody.
2 balls and 1 strike. Indians have lost 5 in a row, and during that streak they are batting just .165, so offense has been a problem for them. Offense has been a problem in the entire second half for Manny Acta and the Indians, with the second lowest batting average in the league. 3 balls, 1 strike. Well, when Bruce Chen is right, he really can play on a hitter's ego. And a young hitter, Santana's still a young guy, at times will take a big swing, and this is where Bruce will get a hitter to muscle up with the bases loaded and hope that he gets a ground ball or a pop-up. And it's off the end of the bat, but placed perfectly out into shallow right field, and the Indians will get 2. So Bruce did exactly what he wanted. He had Santana all wound up taking a big swing. He didn't hit it very hard, but drops it into right for a 2-run single.
I mean, when I said a well-placed ball, that's exactly what that one was. I mean, he squibbed it right off the end of the bat.
Dave Island is out, and the Royals are concerned with the way Bruce is throwing the ball in the early innings, and they are already working in the bullpen. So a 6-0 Royals lead has become 6-3, and the Indians have runners at first and third with 1 out. Edward Tieford is starting to play catch out in the left field bullpen.
So Island probably said, hey, look, Bruce, guys got you 6 runs in the first inning. Hadn't happened in over 2 years. Giving you a chance here. Let's get out of this one here. A little ground ball double play here. Come on now. Although Brantley runs pretty well, it won't be easy.
He is grounded into 6 double plays. And Brantley isn't one of those left-hand batters where there's a drop-off for him when he faces left-hand pitching. He is pretty balanced from both sides of the plate. And he doubled to right field leading off the second inning and scored the Indians' first run. And now he lines it to center field, and that'll be deep enough for another run. The Indians have 3 in the third inning, and all of a sudden it's a 2-run game. And now Bruce gets the third baseman, Jose Lopez. And Lopez going for it all. Comes up empty, no balls and 1 strike. There was a time in Seattle, and you'll remember because you saw the Mariners more than we did, that the Mariners thought they were set long term with Jose Lopez at second base and Yuniesky Betancourt at shortstop. Both of those players were signed to long-term contracts, and it just didn't quite work out the way the Mariners had hoped. And along the way, they let Asdrubal Cabrera get away. Cabrera, originally out of the Mariners organization, was traded to the Indians.
This happens sometimes. Their defense was a little more suspect than more of their offense. They were expecting bigger, more range in the infield from those two guys.
And now 3 balls, 1 strike on Lopez.
Okay, so what we're seeing, Bruce, is he's nibbling. He's trying to be too fine on the corners instead of just going out with that lead he had, 5-run lead before this inning started, and pitching to contact like Dave Island likes his guys to do. So Bruce, just get back in that zone.
And now Lopez walks. And here comes Ned Yost. Boy, that's a pitcher's dream to get 6 runs in the bottom of the first inning. And now Bruce Chen will not get out of the third. Ned Yost has seen enough, and he's going to bring in a fresh arm, and Everett Tiefert will come on with 2 on and 2 out in the third inning in our Chevy call to the bullpen. Sports and the state of Missouri are teaming up to help you stop smoking. The state of Missouri Tobacco Quit line is at 1-800-QUIT-NOW. So this could be like a start for Tiefert, coming on with 2 outs in the 3rd inning. Royals had a 6-0 lead at the end of 1. Cleveland has scored 1 in the 2nd, 3 in the 3rd, and now they have the tying run at first base with 2 outs. And Vinny Rottino, newly acquired, takes ball 1. Rottino drove in the Indians' first run with a sacrifice fly to right field in the 2nd inning. Rottino started this year with the Mets and was placed on waivers at the end of June. The Indians claimed him and sent him to AAA Columbus. And then he was called up when Travis Hafner, after the game on Tuesday, was placed on the paternity list after Hafner's wife gave birth to their 2nd son.
Tiefert just threw him a cutter. He's got a little fastball. He'll go around 92, curveball and a change.
On the ground to Moustakas. He'll just go to the bag at 3rd, and that ends the inning as Cleveland gets back into the game with a 3-run 3rd. Well, it looked like it was going to be a runaway game for the Royals as they scored 6 runs in the bottom of the 1st inning against Corey Kluber, who's making his first major league start. Alex Gordon and Eric Hosmer ending long home run droughts. Kane and Dyson also driving in runs, but Cleveland has responded with 1 in the 2nd, 3 in the 3rd, and now it's a 2-run game as the Royals come up in the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Indians have out-hit the Royals 7-6. So the perfect time for Mike Moustakas to snap out. He is 0 for his last 21. And Corey Kluber, even though he struggled in the 1st inning, showed a pretty good slider. And he used that pitch to strike out Moustakas and Alex Gordon. And then Billy Butler in the 2nd. There's a base hit. So Moustakas no longer 0 for 21. Now he's 1 for his last 1, and the Royals have the leadoff man on.
Oh, there's a big exhale. Fastball. Got it. Good short swing.
So a nice easy swing for Moustakas, a nice easy swing for Eric Hosmer. And isn't it interesting And it's not just young players, but veteran players. Anytime there's some sort of a slump or some sort of a drought when it comes to extra base hits, doesn't it always seem to get turned around when the hitter decides, you know what, I'm just going to go up there and take a nice, easy swing?
It's hard to do. You want to try harder, swing harder. Less is more. Pena had good eyes that last time up. He walked.
Good movement on that pitch. It backed up and had Pena giving ground before it hit the inside. So now that Kluber has settled down a bit and he's only 2 runs down, we're seeing a little better showcase of his pitches. Fastball, we've seen 95, a hard slider. That was a good changeup with some tailing motion to it. Swung on and missed, and it hit Pena. And it looked like Laz Diaz for a moment was telling Brian to head to first base, perhaps not realizing right away that he had swung at the pitch.
And it hit him. If he doesn't swing, he's on base. He's committed to swing. Hits him on the knee. Ouch.
Watch Laz Diaz.
Yeah, Laz was pointing to first. Ouch, that hit him right on the top of the knee. And he's got to squat the rest of the night on that. Tough place to get hit. Gonna come right back in there.
Left it out over the plate. And it's Cabrera out into shallow center field. So Brian is 0 for 1, and Moustakas goes back to first base. Eric Hosmer hadn't homered since June the 25th. And that was against the Tampa Bay Rays, the series that the Royals swept. And now they're trying to sweep the Indians. And Eric hit a 3-run home run to straightaway center field in the Royals' 6-run first inning. Lou Marson, the catcher, has a mask malfunction. Gives us time to show you the home run.
I think he had a pretty good idea that he got that one. Good balance, short through the zone.
So they'll pitch him inside, and ball 1 with the slider. It was Hosmer's 10th home run. RBI's 43, 44, and 45. Over the outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. By winning last night, the Royals take the series. They had lost 8 consecutive series, going back to that sweep here over the Tampa Bay Rays. And now the Royals have won 6 of their last 7 games against the Indians. Hosmer up the middle again. Diving play by Cabrera. And the Indians turn that into a double play.
Wow. Royals got a little of their own medicine there.
fourth inning. Tomorrow, the Texas Rangers are in town, and it's Retro Night. We will turn back the clock, and the first 20,000 fans receive a Mr. Royal Retro Lunchbox presented by Fox Sports Kansas City. If you'd like tickets, go to Royals.com or call 1-800-6-ROYALS. Now, Ron Swan, our good buddy and our high home camera operator, he's up here in the booth with us. Somehow, he got his hands on a Mr. Royal Retro Lunchbox before we did. And not only did he get a hold of a lunchbox, but it came in a little plastic bag, and he already wrote his name on it. Make sure nobody got their hands on his Mr. Royal Retro Lunchbox. Hosmer makes the play just off the right field line to get Shelley Duncan.
He might even have some food stashed away in it.
Maybe he does. So that's a big time giveaway. We have people on the crew that are getting it a day earlier, and before they even take it home, they're writing their names on it.
It's very proud
Remember
of
you
it.
did that when you were a kid? Because if you had a Happy Days lunchbox and the other guy had a Happy Days lunchbox, you wanted to make sure that you knew whose was whose.
Gotta love the heart. He's got the heart of a kid.
Yours would have been probably, what, a Leave It to Beaver lunchbox, right?
I don't know. Mine was Superman.
Superman? Superman was around in the 50s? I didn't know that.
And they had Wonder Dog lunch pails out,
That's
too.
That's right. Yeah. Who was named after whom?
Chris Berman's the guy who dropped that name on me. So
Really?
I don't know, but superheroes are always nice.
This is Lou Marson. He grounded out to second his first time up. Now he grounds out to short. 2 up, 2 down against Tieford. Look at this. That's the image that we'll put on the new Wonder Dog lunchbox.
Ow, that's a little constipated, I think.
Yeah, what was that creepy arm coming out of the side of that was like a scene out of the Addams Family or something like that. Oh, it was Fizz. Oh, okay. It's kind of frightening. Just an arm came out of it.
What the heck?
Oh. Are you admiring your muscles there or your deodorant?
That was one of those days that I felt like a young man, a young kid.
2 strikes on Shin Soo Choo. 2 hits tonight, and he scored his first run of the series. Royals had really pitched him well for tonight. His batting average against the Royals was just 200. Royals struck him out 4 times on Tuesday. So Everett Tieford, he was bumped out of the starting rotation when the Royals decided to go with Will Smith. He'll get a long relief appearance tonight, try and help save the bullpen with Bruce Chen coming out in the 3rd. And he's off to a good start as he has faced 4 and retired 4. On Fox Sports Kansas City is brought to you by your Midwest Ford dealer. And by AT&T, the world's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. It's been a big series for the Royals at the plate. They have scored 19 runs with 18 coming in the first 3 innings. Tonight they got all 6 in the bottom of the first against Corey Kluber, who was really skating on thin ice, and the Indians were warming up in the bullpen in the first. But since giving up 6 runs, he has retired 6 of the last 7 Royals. Royals have sent just 3 to the plate in the second and the third innings. Chris Getz tripled and scored in that 6-run first. An opportunity for Getz to start in 3 straight games in this Indian series. And he's 3 out of 9. 4 runs scored and a couple of RBIs. Ned Yost indicated before the game tonight that with the Royals facing lefty Matt Harrison tomorrow, that Yuniesky Betancourt would be back in at second. Cabrera has been busy tonight. He throws out Getz from behind second base. Well, parents, there's still time to sign your kids up for Slugger's Blue Crew, presented by U.S. Toy. Members receive a batting practice jersey, a backpack, a water bottle, ticket vouchers, and front of the line access for every Sunday fun run. And that's not all. And all that for just $20. You can join right now at Royals.com/Blue Crew or by going to the U.S. Toy Store location in Leawood. Gerard Dyson capped that 6-run first inning with a ground ball single into right field, driving in a run, and then he stole second base, his 18th stolen base of the year. That's a pitch the Royals want Gerard Dyson to just completely forget about.
Right, and go ahead and use the lanes. Shoot it by these 2 guys that are drawn in here. Now, use that bunt. Don't forget that. Even though he's been getting some good hits lately, that's part of his game. And they're going to throw him high strikes so that he'll hit it in the air. He wants to do just what he did there. Take them. Stay down. Stay within your game.
Up the middle and under the glove of Cabrera. And Gerard Dyson is 2 for 2 tonight and 7 for 9 in the series. So he's made the most of this opportunity to play every day, with Jeff Francoeur getting a block of games off.
Yeah. Hitting it hard, squaring it up, finding some holes, getting hot. See if they can get back on the bases again, see if Dyson will steal. You know he wants to.
He has a big lead and he's leaning towards second base. That caught Kluber's eye, and Royals swiped 2 bases in the first inning against Kluber. Now the Royals have 9 stolen bases in their last 4 games. Alex goes the other way. Dyson will round second, but Rutino is on it quickly. And behind him, Alex Gordon takes an aggressive turn, and the Royals have 2 on with 1 out.
Like it. Gordon was looking for more. He thought Dyson might take the chance to go, but you know, it's a good decision by Gerard. You got a 2-run lead, got 1 out here, you're already in scoring position. There's no need to run into an out at third. And it might have been close. Dyson. Look at Gordon. Gordon, he thought he was going 2. He thought Dyson was going the whole way. He had to put the brakes on.
Now, even though Kluber has settled in a bit, this is where you go back to 1 bad inning.
And not just because of all the runs. Royals scored 6 in the first, but Kluber threw 43 pitches. So, yeah, he's starting to settle in, but he's over 70 pitches already as he pitches in the fourth. So he went through a lot of ammunition early in the game. So Alex has 2 hits. One of the subjects of our Sprint You Call It question for tonight, the most impressive Royals since the All-Star break. Joel, Hud, and I all went with Lorenzo Cain, who comes in second to Alex Gordon. And Alex presents a strong case as well. I mean, Alex hit .346 in June and July. That was the 3rd highest batting average in the American League during those 2 months.
Yeah, there's no question. All those guys have had good post All-Star break numbers. But I made sure to let you know that it was the fact that Cain has missed 79 games. He hadn't been getting any love, and go ahead and try to give him some. 17 ribbies, that's pretty good. He's waiting his turn here. Let's see what Escobar can do. Now they got some speed guys on the bases.
Oh and 1. Escobar singled, stole a base, and scored in the first, and grounded out to short in the second. That's what Kluber is hoping for here, a ground ball. Royals 3 out of 5 with runners in scoring position. Dyson jumping around out there, and now he takes off for third. The throw goes to second. So Alex is caught in a rundown, and now Dyson strays too far off of third. He's caught in a rundown. Did he miss the tag? He did not. Marson got him. So out of all that, the Royals have Gordon at second base and 2 down.
So if you're the trail runner of a speedy runner at second base, you got to watch him. And Gordon was watching him, except he couldn't get a good jump. Now Marson, he had all along in his mind that he was throwing behind to get Gordon, and Gordon knew they were going to get him, so he locked it up. And now we'll see if the tag was made, and it was. As Diaz had it, home plate umpire, he made the correct call.
Now, I don't know how to score that. Is that a caught stealing? Even though he got third base and rounded third and was caught in between third and home?
I think he gets a stolen base on it.
I mean, he did advance, but of course the rule is that nobody gets a stolen base if an out is recorded on the play. Right center field, and Shin-Soo Choo makes the play. So the Royals come up with 2 hits. They strand 1, and they're scoreless in the fourth. In the third inning, after the Indians had scored 3 against Bruce Chen in that inning, and turned a 6-0 game into a 6-4 game, and now Tiford has retired all 4 Indians he has faced. He will get Brent Lillibridge, as Drupal Cabrera and Carlos Santana in the 5th. By the way, if you'd like to score along with us, the way that play was scored with Dyson and Gordon running and Dyson out, both get a stolen base, so it's a double steal, and then Dyson is out on a play that scored 2-4-5-2. Brent Lillibridge, Royals have seen him with the White Sox. He was traded to the Red Sox this year in the deal that sent Kevin Youkilis to Chicago, and then from there traded to the Indians. So he's in his 5th organization. He singled and scored in the 3rd inning and flied out in the 1st. Through the left side in a base hit, and the Indians have their first runner against Tiford.
Brian Pena sitting up right down the middle, is on the outer half. Lillibridge looked like he was trying to pull the whole time.
And Lillibridge has some speed. He's not an everyday player, but he has stolen 7 this year. And it's been a stolen base game. The Royals have 4, and the Indians have 1. As Drupal Cabrera with 2 singles tonight, came around to score in the Indians' 3-run 3rd. And Lillibridge does run. The pitch is in the dirt. Pena somehow is able to get it. And a decent throw down to Getz, but too late. And Lillibridge swipes his 8th.
Okay, good takeoff. Stealing the whole way. Didn't take a peek back at the hitter. Tells me he wanted that bag. And you usually get him off the pitcher. Going first movement on a lefty. The minute he picks up his foot, you take off.
Right center field. Kane and Dyson are there. Kane makes the play. Lillibridge holds it first. Remember, you can follow the Royals with the MLB.com @BAT12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry, and Windows Mobile. You'll get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Just text @BAT to 31826 or visit Royals.com for more details. Carlos Santana drove in 2 runs in the 3rd inning. Had a pitch down around the end of the bat, the very end of the bat, and blooped it into right field against Bruce Chen. Bruce made a good pitch on Santana with the bases loaded in the count 3-1. Santana has driven in 3 in this Royals Indians series. A wild swing there, and he's down, no balls and 2 strikes. Royals trying to sweep a series for the first time since the end of June, and the Indians are trying to avoid falling 5 games below 500 for the first time this year. As Santana drives it to deep left field, and he ties the game at 6 in the 5th inning. Carlos Santana has driven in 4 runs. He thinks that he hit a double. Well, he really must have lost that ball.
He was already taking off his body armor.
He was happy with an RBI double to make it 6-5, and second base umpire Tim Welke told him he had to circle the bases.
I mean, you know, that was a hanging breaking ball that started on the outer half, ends up on the meat of his bat, and it just kept on carrying on the line. Now for some reason, he didn't pick it up, but he's happy with the double. Didn't realize he hit a homer. Oh, well, thank you. I'll take it.
Royals scored 6 in the first. They haven't scored since, and now Cleveland has 1 in the second, 3 in the third, and 2 in the fifth. You know, that was a line drive, and Santana's played here long enough to know that this is a hard ballpark to hit the ball out of. And so I'm guessing when he hit it and started running, he probably put his head down and thought, I'm going to try and get to second base as quickly as I can. Well, Brantley drives Dyson to the warning track. And there are 2 down in the 5th inning. And Michael Brantley is 1 for 2.
Okay, this is going to be a slug 'em out game. Who can out hit who?
Jose Lopez flied out in to center field in the 2nd inning and walked in the 3rd. And now Tiford 1 ball, 1 strike. So the Indians in 5 innings tonight have more runs than they scored in the first 2 games. 2-1.
Tiford needs to get back down in that zone. Staying on the corners. It's elevated.
Base hit to left field. Well, we'll see it happens tonight. We have a long way to go. But in looking at the history of the Royals and the Indians, the Royals getting 6 runs in the first, and the Indians tying it is nothing compared to a game in 2006. Here at Kauffman Stadium, the Royals had a team record 10-run first inning. They sent 15 batters to the plate.
Wow.
Ryan Garco was playing first base for the Indians. He committed an error. 7 of those runs were unearned. 10 runs in the bottom of the first inning. But Ryan Garco ended up with the game-winning hit. And the Indians came back and won that game 15-13. That's a foul ball. Nice play by Moustakas, but called foul. So the Mooses turn into boos. So they thought the inning was over. So that was August the 23rd, 2006. That was a team record for the Royals, 10 runs in the first inning. It also was a team record biggest blown lead for a loss.
Wow, man, that's something. That's why you get them early and often and never let up. Get as many as you can. Pretty good practice play by Moose over there.
Oh, 0-2 on Vinny Rotino. Associate producer Al Broughton has done some exhaustive research in a short period of time, and Al's specialty. Paul Bird was the starting pitcher for the Indians in that game, the former Royal, when they scored the 10 runs in the first. Jorge De La Rosa was the starting pitcher for the Royals back in 06. Nice hop for Escobar. The Royals get the force at second base, but we're all even again to the bottom of the 5th. The Royals 6, the Indians 6.
Offense tonight, a lot of offense 25 years ago today, a smoking hot day, and a 6-hit game for Kevin Seitzer, one he'll always remember.
Lonnie Smith standing in the on-deck circle waiting for me to come out of the dugout. When I came up, he turned around and he said, "I've never seen anybody get 6 hits in one game. You're going to get a chance." And I was like, now I get goosebumps about it.
Well, he didn't think he was going to get that 6th hit, guys. It was the 8th inning because he was the 6th batter due up in that inning. And it went base hit, strikeout, strikeout. Then Lonnie Smith came up, as Seitzer just mentioned. He hit a double, and then Seitzer came up there and hit a double to follow. George Brett, after that, hit a home run. So a very memorable day, one that he said he still enjoys talking about, and I ask him about it every single year. How about this one, guys? Last hitter in the big leagues with a 6-hit game, Willie Harris for Atlanta versus the Cardinals in 2007.
Wow. That's what I was going to say. 6 hits, that's all really difficult to do, to come up 6 times.
Ground ball gets past Lillibridge and allows Lorenzo Cain to reach to begin the bottom of the 5th inning. And just the 54th error committed by the Indians this year. The Royals have had 3 players with a 6-hit game. Bob Oliver, one of the original Royals, and in the first season back in 1969, he had a 6-hit game against the Angels. That's Darren Oliver's father.
Right.
And then in 2004, Joe Randa had a 6-hit game at Detroit in Game 1 of a doubleheader.
Did you notice something else in that video about Seitzer?
Yeah, I was thinking, you got 3 6-hit games, and that's so impressive. So, which one was the most impressive? Kevin's was not one of the best games in Royals history. It was the best game in American League history by a hitter with a mullet.
The mullet is long gone. But it's funny that you mentioned the mullet, Ryan, because we're in the middle of the pregame show today, and Monty says, I was his teammate, Seitz's, in a winter ball before that year. He was with the Reds at that point. And he says, I think I made my major league debut around sometime. So after the show, he decided to let me know that, oh, yeah, I made my debut 25 years ago yesterday. So speaking of mullets.
Monty had one.
Monty had a good mullet. Monty
Mark
and
Gubiza.
So yesterday was Monty's big league debut, and today was his first big league win.
Huh.
And also, I asked Mark Gubiza in L.A. who had the better mullet. He was going to give that to his good buddy Monty. And then when I told him Monty was on vacation and not watching, he said, yeah, it was me.
I wonder if they did any shampoo commercials.
Didn't Saberhagen have one too? A mullet?
He did, yeah.
Couldn't get a mullet from Balboni, though.
That's the second time that Billy has struck out tonight against Corey Kluber. And Kluber has 4, and all 4 strikeouts coming with that hard slider.
That'll be about it for him, though. Acta's got the slow walk coming out. He's going to drop the hook on him. Doesn't want him to face Moose.
So that means that Kluber will not qualify for the win. He's only at 85 pitches. And you're the body language expert, Hud. I don't think he wanted to come out of the game. I think he wanted a chance to qualify for the win. So Chevy call to the bullpen for the Indians in the bottom of the 5th. score for the first time since a 6-run first inning. They have a runner at first with one out in the 5th. And before we get to Tony Sipp, let's take a look at tonight's AT&T trivia question. Who were the 2 former Royals to play for the gold medal winning U.S. baseball team in the 2000 Olympics?
Too bad there's not any baseball in the Olympics now. But it sounds like,
say, if you know this one, you know your Royals history, because these are 2 guys that you would immediately think about as Royals.
you wouldn't.
No. So it is a good question.
Sounds to me like you know the answer already.
I do. Only because I remember when one of those 2 guys got to the big leagues, it wasn't long after he pitched in the Olympics.
Oh, he was a pitcher. Thank you.
Yep.
That helps.
The other one was a first baseman. And the clue I'll give you is that the pitcher, that 2000 Olympic team, Eddie Rodriguez was a coach. That 2000 Olympic team was managed by Tommy Lasorda. And Tommy Lasorda referred to this Royals pitcher as Sandy, because he said he reminded Tommy Lasorda of Sandy Koufax, which is not a good comparison at all. All due respect to Tommy Lasorda, because this former Royal was a finesse lefty, and Sandy Koufax was anything but a finesse lefty.
Good story, but doesn't help me.
Doesn't? The other former Royal played a very prominent role in the ending of the Red Sox curse.
Johnny Damon? Nope.
Outstanding guess, but incorrect.
Who's going to have to hit that hard slider that Sipp throws?
No balls, 2 strikes. Moose feeling a lot better at the plate now than he did in the first inning when he struck out against Kluber. That made him 0 for his last 21. And then against Kluber in the 3rd, he singled to right. Moustakas in the past against Tony Sipp is 0 for 3. Still no balls, 2 strikes. You want some more hints? The person in the Red Sox situation held a particular item for hostage the next year. Popped up as Drupal Cabrera brings it down. His name rhymes with Smug Flint Ravitch.
You're wearing me out.
And the other Royal was Chris George. Chris George and Doug Minkiewicz. Minkiewicz received the throw at first base for the final out of the 2004 World Series, and then he hung on to the baseball. Remember that? And the Red Sox wanted to take him to court because they wanted that ball back and on display. And
I couldn't think of it because I didn't even realize those guys were Royals. That was hard on me.
Do you know another player whose name rhymes with Smug Flint Ravitch?
No.
Okay.
But I didn't know Minkiewicz was a Royal.
He was for 1 year. Chris George was a big-time pitching prospect for a long time. Got to the big leagues at a very young age and Just didn't quite put it together with the Royals. Had a lot of opportunities to do so. But as the Royals now are waiting for some good young arms that come up from the minor leagues, at that time, Chris George was going to be a difference maker in the Royals starting rotation.
Sandy?
Yeah, I know. Well, one of Tommy Lasorda's great gifts in becoming a Hall of Fame manager for the Dodgers was motivating his players. One of those managers that had a great reputation of getting every ounce of ability and then some out of his players, convincing them they were better than maybe their numbers would indicate, or other scouts had evaluated them, or maybe the media had portrayed them. But hey, Chris George, he made it to the big leagues. Not many pitchers get to the big leagues, but the Sandy Koufax Chris George comparison was not an accurate one. Pena lines it to center field. Brantley is there for the out, so the Royals do not turn the air into a run. And at the end of 5, we are tied at 6. Royals 6, Indians 6, but when you look at the line score, well, the Royals were feeling great after 1 inning, and even though we're all even, I think the Indians are feeling a little bit better than the Royals right now.
Yeah, you know, you could tell the momentum shift after they went ahead and tied this game. So now it's anybody's. But, you know, when they started out with 6 runs and Bruce on the mound, I wasn't seeing this. I thought for sure Bruce was going to be able to take it and keep the ball down, use his defense, but, you know, he was nibbling a little bit and got a few pitches up, and they jumped on him. They had to come get him.
And he was replaced by Teaford in the 3rd inning. Teaford started by retiring the first 4 Indians that he faced. And then in the 5th, he gave up a single. And then a 1-out home run to Carlos Santana, who tied the game. And Santana has driven in 4 of the 6 Indians' runs. 2 strikes on Shelley Duncan, who is 0 for 2.
Okay, pretty good spot, but Teaford, he can get hit like Bruce. He's not overpowering if he's not hitting his spots. Locating. It's a good breaking ball there. Pena wanted it in. It stayed down. That's where you want to throw it to these powerful hitters. This guy here, Duncan, he's got a long swing, but if he connects on something up, he can hit it out. That's a good spot.
Had young Royals fan. A little frustrated at the moment, but he has his glove. He's ready for a foul ball.
He's a left-hander.
Tommy Lasorda once compared that little guy to Sandy Koufax.
No, please.
Everett Tiefer, drafted by the Royals in 2006 out of Georgia Southern. And then 5 years later, he made his major league debut against the Cleveland Indians. May 17, 2011. Got his first major league save before he got his first major league win. The save against the Tigers, the win against Seattle. And he gets a ground ball to the left side. Moustakas winds up and throws out Shelley Duncan. There's one away in the 6th. Speaking of mullets, we're going to welcome in Jeff Montgomery, whose haircut these days looks nothing like a mullet, but there was a time when that hair was tickling the shoulders, wasn't it?
Rex, you probably remember those days.
Better mullet than mullion, that's for sure. But
how about Tabby?
That's your buddy. You grew up with him.
I did.
Boy, he had the blonde curls, didn't he? Monty, you look like you know it wasn't real long, but
well, I just finished running before that picture was taken.
Yeah.
As a result, my hair was kind of wet.
Were you digging yourself with that hairdo?
Really not. I was actually, when I came here, I had short hair like I have now, and Mark Ubaza and Brett Sabering told me, you better grow some hair because you look too much like John Sherholz.
Really?
Exactly.
Exact words?
Exact words.
Oh, my. Hey, that was a look. I mean, in those days, you guys weren't the only ones that had hair like that. You and every rock band had hair like that.
Every ball player wants to be a rock star, you know.
So start with the hair, right?
Exactly.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Lou Marson. Boy, Bruce Chen, I think almost all of us picked him in the hot watch tonight, thinking that he would put July behind him, start fresh like the Royals offense has, and it just didn't work for him tonight.
Well, August has been his month over his career, best month of any month during his career, and I'm like you guys. I was thinking that, turn a page on July, just like the Royals team did, hopefully get things going in August, and unfortunately tonight just was not able to take advantage of that big lead.
What do you think it was? Now, to me, it looked like he was nibbling a little bit around the plates. He was not really looking to pitch to contact.
Well, for Bruce Chen, I think it's important for him to be able to get to all of his pitches. And sometimes when you get a big lead, you kind of get out of your game. And I think you get a little bit happy with the fastball. You start challenging hitters. And if you don't have pinpoint control on those given nights, then the hitters are going to let you know. And certainly the Indians did tonight.
Now Marson strikes out, so 2 down in the 6th inning. And knowing Bruce, I mean, he's a pro. He's not going to make any excuses. But you taught me something once that I haven't forgotten. Why closers struggle in non-save situations. You kind of come out of your game. You think the expectations are different. And I wonder if pitching with a big lead early on would be the equivalent for a starter.
I think so, and I was talking with Greg Holland about that a little bit today, coming in last night with a 3-run lead. I asked him, I said, would you rather have a 1-run game or a 3-run? And he said exactly what I expected. I'd rather have a 3-run, but I pitch better in a 1-run game. And I think with Bruce Chen, probably similar situation, used to grinding it out pitch after pitch, and you get that cushion, get a 6-run lead after the first at bat. I think maybe you have a tendency to let up a little bit.
Shin-Soo Choo, man, he's been clobbering the ball all night, and this time he drills Everett Tiefer. Monty, thanks for dropping by.
Yes, indeed.
Hair looks great.
Thank you.
AT&T Uverse Reverse Replay.
Oh, and you know what? You can watch that swing the rest of your life. That's a beautiful stroke as that is there. We'd love to see that about 30 to 35 times out of this young man next year. But if he heard me just say next year, he wouldn't be too happy with me. He's going to say, Hud, what about this at bat right here? That's where their focus is.
And he will lead off our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is Denise York from Grandview, Missouri. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Denise wins $4,300. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Denise wins $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. Tony Sipp, who recorded the final 2 outs of the 5th inning, will see 4 straight left-hand hitters. So the timing is good for him. Came on and retired Moustakas in relief of Kluber in the 5th inning, and then Pena, switch hitter, and now Hosmer, Getz, Dyson, and if anybody gets on, Gordon. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, is Denise our contestant?
Yes.
Well, she might want to know that Tony Sipp has given up 3 home runs to left-handed batters this year, a .242 average. So it has happened off of Sipp.
He went. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Royals scored all 6 of their runs in the 1st inning. Hooks it over to Lillibridge, who throws out Hosmer, 1 down. And now another left-hand batter coming up in Chris Getz. He was part of the 6-run first with a triple and scored on Dyson's base hit. Getz is 1 out of 2 tonight. 3 out of 10 in the series with 4 runs scored. Batting at .292. Chris Getz changed his stance during spring training, and we heard that was going to result in more power. And he has more extra base hits now than he did all of last year, hitting his 3rd triple in the 1st inning.
You better share some news with Diane.
Well,
or is it Denise?
Denise.
Okay,
but
sorry.
you can call her Diane.
Sorry, Denise.
Talking about home run droughts, Alex Gordon ended a long one. Eric Hosmer ended a long one in the 1st inning. Chris Getz has gone 744 at-bats without a home run. That's the longest beginning a Royals career. He does have a home run in his big league career, so it's not like he's looking for his first. He just doesn't have one as a Royal. He hit 2 for the White Sox back in 2009, and producer Joe Lavero tells me that his last home run was against Jeremy Guthrie, who's now with the Royals. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
It's important during our Sonic Slam inning, we keep our contestants on the edge of their seat with the updated news on the home run production from these guys. Not going to happen there.
2 down. And now Gerard Dyson, who has 1 career home run. And I remember that one. That was against Kevin Slowey, who was pitching for the Minnesota Twins in 2010. He was here at Kauffman Stadium. Hit it to right center field.
Really? Pretty good poke.
He bunted it foul off of his foot. Now the Sonic Slam inning used to include inside the park home runs, but the rules have changed. The home run could be inside or outside the park, but the grand slam had to be outside the park, which is interesting because the Royals have never had an inside the park grand slam in history. But just so everything is clear now, the Sonic Slam inning, the ball has to land on the other side of the outfield wall. Bring that up because Dyson probably has a better chance to hit an inside the park home run than he does over the wall.
I think he'd be happy with a lousy knock right here. Get on there for Gordon with 2 outs. And Gordon, he might have a chance. Help Denise out.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Dyson is 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts against Tony Sipp. Two and two. You know, you brought this up last time he was up, and he's swinging the bat well now, so maybe this isn't the best timing. He is 7 out of 9 in the series, but he doesn't quite bunt, I think, as much as the Royals would like him to bunt.
Not recently, but there's never a bad time to bunt when you have his ability. Okay, third baseman and first baseman, they could be playing way in on the grass, and they have to be perfect. Not Gerard. He can just, you know, put a little bunt down there anytime. I mean, even in a good, when you're laying out some line drives, you still get soft once in a while with that type of ability.
He is down on strikes. So Tony Sipp has retired all 5 Royals that he has faced. 2 to 7, tied at 6. Brought to you by Panera Bread. Now with 24 KC Metro locations. Visit us online at PaneraKansas.com. By Thoroughbred Ford. The best deals on new Fords are at ThoroughbredFord.com. And by AT&T Uverse. The new wireless receiver from AT&T Uverse. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. Well, it didn't seem possible when the Royals scored 6 in the first inning that we would be where we are now, tied at 6 into the 7th. And Kelvin Herrera becomes the 3rd Royals pitcher. Bruce Chen went 2 2/3 innings. He gave up 4 runs. Everett Tieford went 3 1/3. He gave up 2 and then was drilled by a Shin-Soo Choo line drive in the 6th inning, a ball that hit Tieford on the wallet, and he was able to recover and throw out Choo, but that was the last batter that he faced. And now here's Herrera in the 7th to face Brent Lillibridge, Asdrubal Cabrera, and Carlos Santana. And it's 0-2 on Lillibridge, who has 2 hits and 2 runs scored tonight. And he's also thrown in a stolen base.
Tune up those bats for Herrera. Upper 90s fastball. Upper 80s changeup.
Right off of Pena's mask. As Diaz trying to give him a little bit of time to shake it up, and Brian says, give me the ball, let's go.
That's right. This is one start a week. He wants to stay in there.
One and two. Fastball almost pinned Pena to the screen.
As Diaz, he ducked.
Curveball. Down goes Lillibridge. That pitch just froze Lillibridge, and a good start for Herrera.
Yep, that's that third pitch of his. He'll throw it occasionally. 3 really good pitches.
So at the trade of Jonathan Broxton, everybody moves up. Greg Holland becomes the closer. We expect we'll see a lot of Aaron Crow in the 8th inning, maybe Herrera from time to time, depending on the matchups. Maybe Jose Majares to face a lefty, and now that means that Kelvin Herrera moves up as well, and he'll see some, as they call it, higher leverage situations.
Ned has total confidence in all those arms in the back end of that pin. They're good. That's a bright spot for the Royals.
0-2 on Cabrera. Cleveland Indians scored 5 runs in the first 2 games. Royals won game 1 8-3 and game 2 5-2. And now Cleveland with 6 runs tonight, coming back from a 6-0 deficit. And a fastball got the outside at 99 miles an hour. So he froze Lillibridge with a curve and did the same to Cabrera with a fastball.
Ooh, man, you're not hitting this one. Look where Pena's setting up. You're not hitting that one. Cabrera said, I think I'm just going to save my swing for another at bat. 99 on the black of the plate. Unhittable. Maybe you could foul it off, maybe.
Carlos Santana bats left-handed for the first time. He has 4 RBIs. He popped out in his first at-bat, hit a 2-run single against Bruce Chen in the 3rd, and then a 2-run home run against Everett Tieford in the 5th. Santana has driven in 5 in the series. 2-0.
Very polished hitter for as young as he is.
And a good eye at the plate. His batting average is down. I mean, it's even with tonight's performance, he's hitting .239, but he has an on-base percentage of .366, and that's a result of 62 walks, 2 of those in this series, and that's the 3rd highest number of walks in the league.
Well, you take a look at his right foot. He puts it, he's on his toe. And then he just picks it up and sets it down. I'll tell you that more of his weight is centered towards the back.
Pena wanted that pitch down and away, but Herrera, when you're throwing 98, you can get away with missing with your location from time to time.
That's why managers like hard throwers. You can rely on strikeouts in the back end of your pin. So when you see a pitcher shake, say, no, I don't want that pitch. I don't want that one. You know, hitter, that messes with hitters sometimes. So Pena's back there, and a lot of catchers will shake their head. No, that's telling the pitcher to shake. Let's mess the hitter up a little.
At the knees, and Herrera strikes out the side. All strikeouts looking. Stretch time at Kauffman Stadium. 6-6 tie. Royals going for the sweep.
Cheese at the knees.
Goldberg back as Panera takes us around the league, and we see Minnesota shutting out Boston. Deduno pitching well for his third win. LA and Texas tied up at 8. Rangers come here next. Toronto and Oakland just underway out in Northern California. As for the Angels and the Rangers, after a wild game last night, another wild one tonight. Ryan Dempster, his debut with the Rangers, just acquired in a trade, gives up 8 runs. CJ Wilson wasn't any better. He gave up 8 runs too, and so both starters get rocked. It is 8-8 right now. And boy, how about the drama, guys? Last night, LA led 6-0. It went into extra innings. The Angels scored 3 in the top of the 10th. The Rangers scored 4 in the bottom of the 10th. Hang on, that race continues to be good.
All right, thank you, Joel. Similar type game here, tied at 6 in the bottom of the 7th inning. It looked like the Royals were going to have an easy night tonight with 6 in the bottom of the 1st. They haven't scored since the 1st, and Cleveland has come back to tie it with Joe Smith on the mound to begin the 7th. Corey Kluber making his first major league start. Finished with 4 1/3 innings, not allowing a run after the 1st. Tony Sipp was effective in an inning and 2/3, and now the sidearmer Joe Smith, who leads all major league relievers with 7 wins. He has more wins than some of the Indian starting pitchers.
Sinker slider. You know, you got to be a little bit lucky, though, to have that many wins. As a reliever, you come in a certain spot, your team scores some runs, and they hold it, and you get the W. He's got a really long string at the end of his glove, his pinky glove. You see that hanging down there?
And he gets Alex looking.
That'll distract some hitters. But until a hitter says something to the umpire about it, he'll keep that long string hanging. There used to be a time where the National League umpires and the American League umpires were two different sets of umpires, and they weren't combined like they are in today's game. In the National League, they policed jewelry around pitchers' necks or anything like that that was a distraction. And in the American League, you know, like if you're a hitter in the National League, you could ask the umpire and say, hey, look, the medallion he's got around his neck is shining in my eye and it's distracting me. And the umpire would say, hey, look, you need to take that off. And then in the American League, I remember saying, hey, look, you know, the guy's got string hanging down from his glove. Could you please tell him to cut that off? And the umpire would look at me and say, you tell him. Okay, thanks. So that told me right there they didn't police it as tightly in the American League.
Cabrera comes up and he throws out Escobar, who is 1 for 4, 2 down in the 7th inning. Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Corporation. Ryan Lefevre, Rex Hudler, Joel Goldberg at Kauffman Stadium, with director Steve Kurtenbach, producer Joe Lavero, associate producers Al Broughton, Sam Abramson, and the producer of Royals Live is T.J. McGinnis. Ball 1 to Lorenzo Cain. 3 runs driven in this series, and now 17 since coming back from the disabled list, as Ned Yost continues to plug him in as the number 3 hitter. I remember a similar experience, Hud, but this was as a broadcaster and the first year of interleague play. And I was in Houston, and that's still when the league umpiring crews were divided. And I remember the first thing, it was the National League umpiring crew because we were in a National League ballpark. And there was a pitching change, and the third base umpire ran out to the bullpen at the Astrodome as if to say, come on, let's go, pitching change, come on. And being with an American League team at the time, there was much of a slower pace. You know, the games were slower paced because of the designated hitter. There was a much bigger difference back then. And I remember when the series was over that a lot of the players and the coaching staff were commenting that, boy, the National League guys, they run this game a little differently than they do in the American League.
Yeah, they did. It was completely different than it is today. How about that? That gentleman's offering that young man the ball. The kid was polite, said, no, sir, you don't have to give it to me. And he took it.
You think that gentleman behind him is rooting for Alex Gordon tonight?
Pretty good possibility. Ooh. Lorenzo Cain's having a hard time trying to figure out Joe Smith.
And he could be very tough on a right-hand hitter. Trying to keep that front shoulder in on a tough angle. He does, and lines it into center field.
Yeah, Smith's just given up a .214 average to righties, a couple homers. That's a good AB. Look at, and Lorenzo's saying, man, it's a good thing he threw that one straight.
And you would think a hitter like Billy Butler would have more success than most righties against a guy like Joe Smith, because Billy is so good about keeping that shoulder in there and hitting the ball to right field and right center. But he hasn't had an easy time. He's just 1 for 8 against Smith. Big sweeping breaking ball is in for a strike. Billy is glad to see Kluber out of the game. Billy was 0 for 3 against the Indians rookie, making his first big league start with a couple of strikeouts. And now Billy trying to break out of an 0 for 10. No balls, 2 strikes.
He rushed that up there on him. So slider, fastball up in the zone on Billy.
Kane at first with his third consecutive multi-hit game. After a hot start following the All-Star break, he tailed off a bit on the road trip, was just 1 for 14 in the Seattle series, and now has his average back up to 291. Till he bounces it off the plate. Santana has time to go back to the bag, and that ends the inning. So we've played 7. Royals hoping for a sweep tonight over the Indians, and we're tied at 6. Runs in the first inning. Cleveland scored 1 in the second, 3 in the third, 2 in the fifth, and Kelvin Herrera will stay on for the 8th after dazzling the Indians in the 7th inning with 3 strikeouts, all looking, getting Lillibridge, Cabrera, and Santana. And now in the 8th, Michael Brantley, followed by Jose Lopez and Vinny Rotino.
Well, we've seen Herrera that last inning putting that fastball where he wants it. When he does that, that will eliminate any hitting, especially when he puts it where he wants it. And then he's got that nice little slider, breaking ball, and his changeup. Keep this guy off the base if you can, though. He's one of their speed guys.
Brantley had 2 hits in game 1. He was 0 for 4 last night. And now tonight with a double and a sacrifice fly. Moustakas flags it down on the left side of the infield. 1 away. It's been a while since the Royals have swept a 3-game series from the Indians. You have to go back to May of 2006. Cleveland Indians have won the last 8 season series with the Royals, and they were well on their way to 9 in a row, winning the first 4 against KC this year. Now the Royals have come back and they've won 6 of the last 7. Tim Collins and Aaron Crow warming up in the bullpen. The Indians, and Rex pointed this out early in the game, they've had a bad time this year against left-hand pitching, but they scored all 6 of their runs tonight against lefties. Bruce Chen and Everett Teaford. Very shallow center field, and it will drop. So Dyson coming in, Escobar and Getz going out, and that's the second hit tonight for Lopez.
Yeah, Cleveland just 10 and 22 versus left-handed starters, and their average 219 against lefties. Now you can see this little spot here is going to work at the golden spot here. Look at that. Right there in the triangle.
Nice wedge shot.
Yeah, it just plugged. A little backspin. Moose was covering second. KC would have went over.
Ball 1-2, Vinny Rottino. Telling you earlier that Vinny Rottino is from Racine, Wisconsin. He signed with the Brewers. He was undrafted out of the University of Wisconsin lacrosse and made it to the big leagues after being undrafted. And when he got to the big leagues, his manager was Ned Yost. There's a funny story about Rottino. He's one of the clubhouse favorites. There was a spring training game in 2006, and Miss Arizona was throwing out the first pitch. And Ned Yost, having some fun with his rookie, convinced Vinny Rottino to go out and catch the first pitch because he told Vinny, Miss Arizona specifically asked that you would be the guy. So he went out there with a big smile on his face, received the pitch, took the ball out to Miss Arizona. They met in between the mound and home plate. He had a big smile on his face and said, "Hey, thanks for requesting me to catch the first pitch." And then he realized that Miss Arizona had no idea what he was talking about.
Those pranks are played daily in the big leagues. That's the beauty.
He's been to the big leagues with the Brewers, the Marlins, and the Mets. Look out. You hear stories like this all the time. A player has a good college career and doesn't get drafted, and he's preparing for life after baseball. And Vinny Rottino was going to go to the University of Wisconsin-Madison, the big University of Wisconsin where Joel went. He was going to get into the School of Pharmacy. And one of his college coaches, after he was undrafted in 2003, arranged for a tryout so that the Brewers scouts could get another look at him. They decided to sign him. And he put off that plan to go to pharmacy school, and now he's had a nice long professional career.
He has, and he's going to ride the wave all the way to the beach. Play as long as you can. And he's got a chemistry degree. He's smart.
Kane makes the play in right field. 2 down in the 8th. And now the Indians are going to send up a pinch hitter. Shelley Duncan, their right-hand hitting designated hitter, will be replaced with Jason Kipnis. Kipnis is having a solid year for the Indians, but in this series, the Royals have held him to 1 for 7.
This is his first pinch hit opportunity of the year for Manny Acta. And you notice how he starts. He lays his bat flat. And I've asked him about that before, and he said, he likes to feel the weight of the bat. He likes to feel the bat in his hand. So when it's like that, he just says, it's a good starting position for me. Wants to feel the lumber.
I'm seeing an old film, a black and white film in my head now of a major leaguer that used to hit like that. Mel Ott, maybe?
I think maybe Ty Cobb, too, maybe.
Similar to, but not the same as Rod Carew, who used to also hold his bat like that before the pitch came in. Tony Fernandez. Jose Lopez is caught stealing. That's the second time that Brian Pena has gunned down an Indian tonight. So we go to the bottom of the 8th. Royals 6, Indians 6. As promised earlier, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Man, I'm going to tell you, Gordon got it all started, and everything started clicking in that one inning. 6 Royals crossed the plate. Off of the young kid, Corey Kluber, who was making his major league debut. But to the kid's credit, he settled down after that, went a couple more scoreless innings, and then has gotten some good relief help from some of his buddies out in that Tribe bullpen. Shutting down the Royals ever since then. We'll see if they can get something going.
And it will be Vinny Pistano. And he appeared last night. Pistano, he leads all American leaguers. He leads all major leaguers with 29 holds, but he hasn't been in a hold situation yet. Earned an average of 1.43. And he'll face Mike Moustakas, Brian Pena, and Eric Hosmer. So Manny Acta kind of going against the book here by bringing in a right-hand pitcher to face some left-hand batters. And when you look at Pistano's breakdown, righties and lefties, righties have a really bad time against him, hitting just 122, but lefties 222. So it's 100 points better, but still not very good. And Moustakas hits the first pitch into shallow right field, where Chu makes the play, and Moustakas is 1 for 4.
Nice first ball fastball hitting there. Moose was guessing a little, but you can see that. Yeah, he's been pretty stingy overall. Very good stuff. He's got a good aggressive fastball from the sidearm position, kind of a 3/4, not exactly sidearm. He's got a good slider. And he's got good mound presence, and he's a competitor. And Pena didn't like that one.
When teams started designating a closer, and back then it wasn't called a closer, it was called a fireman, because it wasn't just a 9th inning for that particular pitcher. It was when there was a fire late in the games, and they would come in and put the fire out as Pena grounds out 2 away. Sometimes that fire would come in the 7th inning, sometimes in the 8th, sometimes in the 9th. And Pistano has been an excellent fireman for the Indians, even though he's not their closer. He has stranded all 14 inherited runners he's had this year. That's the most in the American League without one of those runners coming around to score. Remember, for years there was the award. Remember, the Rolaids Fireman of the Year. Now I think it's just the relief pitcher of the year.
Yeah, and I remember Raleigh Fingers seemed to always get that back in the day.
1-1 on Hosmer.
When you see hitters check their swing, it means he's got pretty good stuff. That slider is a hard biting pitch that is equally effective on both righties and lefties. We told you that, but he's a real competitor, and he put those pitches together along with that mound presence, and that's what you're getting. Move the hitter's feet a little bit once in a while. Make sure he's not too comfortable in there.
Hit hard on the ground, but Lillibridge backhands, and we will head to the 9th inning. Tied at 6. Nobody has scored since the 5th inning.
Tied up at Kauffman Stadium whenever this one is over. Joel Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery, Boulevard Royals Live. We'll look back at an explosive first inning for the Royals, but the pitching performance of Bruce Chen couldn't hold up. We'll talk about all that and look ahead to the start of the Texas series. Matt Harrison, Jeremy Guthrie, first of three between the Royals and the defending American League champions here at Kauffman Stadium. No mullet talk on Boulevard Royals Live, but maybe Ryan can pick that up right now with Tim Collins in the game.
Not quite, but close. So Collins is on for the 47th time. He pitched on Tuesday, came on in relief of Luke Hochevar and pitched 2 scoreless innings. And in that game, he faced the Indians top of the order. Here in the 9th, it'll be Kipnis. He was standing at the plate when Lopez was caught stealing to end the 8th. Followed by Lou Marson, the number 9 hitter, and then Shin-Soo Choo.
Well, he'd have much rather had Herrera stay in there now to have to face Collins. Now the lefty's going to bend some breaking balls on him. Fastball, breaking ball, straight changeup.
Two and one. That had to be a nice lift for Collins on Tuesday with those 2 scoreless innings. For whatever reason, he's pitched much better on the road this year than he has at Kauffman Stadium. And it really is quite a contrast. On the road, his ERA is tiny, 1.24, but at home, 5.87.
And you know, you show the numbers to Collins and he'll tell you, wow, doesn't look too good, does it? Well, I can't tell you why. You go out there the same way every night, trying to do the same thing. And sometimes the numbers just don't work. A lot of numbers in baseball, so they're kind of hard to figure.
Curveball is grounded out to Getz. Kipnis runs well. He makes it a close play, but Getz throws him out. 1 down. We were talking about relief pitchers, and when Pistano came on in the bottom of the 8th, the old fireman who would come in the 7th or the 8th inning, and then they would close out the game. That's how they earned a save many times. And they had plenty of games where they would just come on in the 9th. And doing a little research here, Joakim Soria's best year as a Royal, as far as saves go, would be 2010. He had 43 saves for the Royals. He had a 1.78 ERA. He pitched 65 2/3 innings. Dan Quisenberry, on the other hand, and there's no one better than the other, it was just a different time. But Dan Quisenberry had a stretch with the Royals. This is 4 years in a row. 136 2/3 innings, 139 innings, 129 1/3, and then 129.
That's when they had multiple innings.
Yep. And nobody's griping about the number of innings that Soria pitched. I mean, Soria is an all-star. He's one of the best closers the Royals have ever had. He's, before going down with the injury, one of the most proficient closers in all of Major League Baseball, but the job requirement is much different than it was when Dan Quisenberry was closing games.
That's how the game's evolved into specialty spots in the pen now to win. Good research, though.
Dan Quisenberry once appeared in 84 games. Lorenzo Cain to the line. Lou Marson is out number 2, and he's 0 for 4. That's somewhat of the comeback these days. Well, if they pitch fewer innings, then they can make more appearances. And Dan Quisenberry was exceptional. But that really isn't a valid argument, because Soria would give the Royals anywhere from 60 to 66 appearances per year. And again, all-star caliber, but Dan Quisenberry, 72 appearances, 69, 72, and then that one year when he had 84 appearances. Shin-Soo Choo, 2 out of 4. 1 run scored, 1 stolen base. He went. No balls, 2 strikes. Keeping him honest. Chu looked like he might have been expecting a curveball there and had to pull the ripcord at the last moment.
2 strikes he might have been.
Fastball struck him out. So another good inning at home for Tim Collins. Now the Royals will try and walk off in the bottom of the 9th. Chris Getz, Gerard Dyson, and Alex Gordon.
Billy swings, hits it well, deep left center field. Look at this! Game over! Game winner for Billy Butler, the All-Star!
That's a flashback to July 18th, the Royals' last walk-off win against the Seattle Mariners, and Billy Butler with that home run against Josh Kinney of the Seattle Mariners. Hoping for the same here as Chris Getz, Gerard Dyson, and Alex Gordon will face Vinny Pistano, who pitched a scoreless 8th. Getz tripled and scored in the Royals' 6-run first inning. So 7 scoreless innings after that huge first, with the Indians tying it with 1 in the 2nd, 3 in the 3rd, and 2 in the 5th.
Okay, you got a couple guys with some speed coming up here, and Getz and Dyson. Infield, Lopez at third base. He's playing in, thinking they could bunt. Both guys will try to get on base any way they can here. Make something happen. Any way to get on.
Getz grounded out to second last night against Pistano. That's his only at bat against him, and now a slider is down and in, and the count is 2 balls, 1 strike. The scoreboard says 3-0, and now Laz Diaz is correcting that. So it's 2-1. And now 3 balls, 1 strike.
Okay, if you're Chris Getz, go ahead and take another one. Leading off an inning, trying to see if you can get a walk.
And he does. Winning run at first base with nobody out.
All right, now here's where it gets interesting. When you have certain performers out there that have certain skills like these two guys, you got Dyson, who you could sacrifice bunt him. You could try a hit and run maybe, but with nobody out, you don't want to get your guys thrown out at second base. But there's some options here.
I tell you, the Royals have been very aggressive lately, and the way Dyson has been swinging the bat, Ned Yost doesn't hit and run often. And Dyson bunts, and he bunts it in the air, and it's caught by Lopez.
That is exactly the last thing you want to happen there. You got to make sure to get on top of that ball, or if it's thrown, if it's pitched up in the zone, take it, pull it back. Bat angle was, the head was pointing down, and that leaves one thing to do with that, pop it up and make it out there, unfortunately. We'll see what Gordon can do.
Alex homered leading off the first inning. His first home run since June 12th. 2 for 4 tonight.
How about find the gap that you do so often? Either one. See, let's watch Chris Getz go.
Alex struck out last night against Pistano, but he's 2 for 4 against him altogether with a couple of singles.
You're first in the league in doubles with 37. You got a chance to win a game here.
Tried to pitch him inside. I don't know if that was a strike, and somehow Alex got around on it. And he cracked his bat.
Ready for the game to begin and end with a homer?
Alex's home run drought covered 188 at-bats. Home run against Zach Greinke on June 12th. The home run tonight against Corey Kluber.
So why not end it with one? We started it with one.
Now Pistano thinking that Getz might take off. Getz has 8 stolen bases and 1 in this series. At the outside corner, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, that's a good spot. Good place to put that ball from. To Gordon.
I remember that one, July 30th, 2010, in the rain. To walk off against the Orioles here at Kauffman Stadium. Hit it into the right field bullpen. On the ground to Santana. Second base 1, back to first, double play. Leadoff walk in the 9th inning, and Getz never gets to second base. Jonathan Broxton was traded to the Reds, and the Royals announced that Greg Holland would be the Royals closer, and he got his first chance last night, picking up his first save of this year in a 3-up, 3-down top of the 9th inning. And now extra innings presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Jack Link's all season long. And now Holland coming on in a 6-6 tie in the 10th inning. He'll get Lillibridge, Cabrera, and Santana.
Okay, non-save situation doesn't matter. The game is on the line. They would love to keep their little winning streak going here. They already got the series, but why not get greedy? Get the sweep. Be the first time against these Indians in 6 years, but it can be done. But got to tighten up that offense, get them bunts down, move them runners, do the little things here. In a game like this, tied up. Holland got great stuff. Mid-90s fastball, split finger slider.
Two hits, 2 runs scored for Lillibridge. And he's down quickly, no balls, 2 strikes. Bruce Chen started. He went 2 2/3 innings. Gave up 4 runs. Everett Teaford, 3 1/3. He allowed 2. Herrera, 2 scoreless innings. Collins, 1 scoreless inning. 1-2. Hard splitter or slider, 1 away.
How about just a nice off-speed pitch that got the job done? That's a beauty. Super slow motion. I bet we can see the grip. Looked like to me it was a slider.
Two hits for Asdrubal Cabrera and a run scored. Now toward right center field, but Kane is there to make the play, and 2 quick outs. Holland's got a big arm, but he's not very big in size. He is listed at 5'10", and because of that lack of size, he's had to do a little bit more than everybody he's played with and against. After an excellent high school career, didn't have a lot of big schools recruiting him, so he went to Western Carolina University. Had a good career there, but was a 10th round pick of the Royals in 2007. He is certainly not the highest profile player that has been drafted, signed, and developed since Dayton Moore has taken over as general manager, but he always will be the first Dayton Moore draft pick to make it to the big leagues.
Boy, I tell you, you got a beauty. It's hard to figure that science of scouting and signing and who's going to project to be a big leaguer and who's going to be a star, who's not. I mean, you just don't know. And now we're entering an age where they change the rules, so there's going to be a lot of undrafted guys that are out there that are going to be making it to the big leagues.
Got it in on Santana's hands, who has driven in 4 runs. So it isn't a save, but it's another good inning for Greg Holland. Royals coming up in the bottom of the 10th. Alcides Escobar, Lorenzo Cain, Billy Butler, and if anybody gets on, Mike Moustakas. They erased that with an impressive win on Tuesday. They won again last night, and now hoping for a sweep over the Indians. They lost a 6-run lead, which they had at the end of 1 inning. But here we are in the 10th, tied at 6. And Alcides Escobar will lead off as the Indians dip back into their bullpen and bring in right-hander Esmil Rogers, a former minor league infielder out of the Arizona Diamondbacks organization. Moved to the mound with them and making his 19th appearance for the Indians this year. Escobar singled and scored in that 6-run first inning. He's 1 for 4.
Well, Rogers has a power fastball. He'll reach mid-90s, 96, and a power curve. He's got a hard curve and a changeup that he'll try to use. And we'll see if Escobar and some of the Royals do some first ball swinging on him, because he likes to get ahead of you with that fastball.
After the first pitch, and Lopez was positioned perfectly. 1 pitch, 1 away. Rogers has pitched 1 game against the Royals in his career, and he gave up 4 runs in 3 innings for an ERA of 12, but he ended up with the win. So there are very few Royals who have seen him. And for Lorenzo Cain, this will be his first at-bat against Rogers. Hard cutting fastball for strike 1.
Ooh, that had a little bit of late life down low as well. Looks like a cutter.
Just missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, we hear it all the time. Sometimes a player just needs a change of scenery, and Rogers started the year with the Colorado Rockies. He had an ERA over 8. Impressive this inning. 2 up, 2 down. And Coors Field might have had something to do with that. So the Indians acquired him for cash. It wasn't even a transaction that involved a trade for another player. And now, since coming to the Indians, he's done a great job. 23 2/3 innings, 27 strikeouts.
Manny Acta was saving him.
There's a pitch that got a lot of the plate, but because of that late action to it, Billy, I think, his eyes were as big as the moon tonight. He had a big swing, but somehow he just cued that off the end of the bat.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of unusual in a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. He'd be that far ahead of it.
Ooh, 96 at the knees.
There's the power pitch.
Man, impressive.
Yeah, he's coming right at them, but in good spots, down and off the plate. He's pitching with a sense of urgency. That's no curveball. That's a cutter.
It looks like he hides the ball well too. He just his arm swing, his right arm, kind of hiding behind his right leg.
He's funky.
Billy goes the other way. So the winning run is at first base, and Mike Moustakas coming up.
Hey, you wonder if Frenchie's going to come out and run. Yeah, there he is. Okay, look at that. Good head position there. He saw that ball off the bat. Knew exactly where he was going to hit it. On the one mistake, really, that this kid Rogers has made.
Ball one to Moustakas. Ball was in the dirt, but Francoeur holds. Moustakas is 1 for 4, but it feels better than that because his single in the third inning snapped an 0 for 21.
I wonder if Francoeur, he's not used to coming into games as a pinch runner, was even loose. Yeah, I saw him. He came right off the bench, so he hadn't been running around. Maybe he doesn't need to in this heat.
And it looks like he's stretching his legs out as he's leading off a first. Well, we've seen many times in a situation like this where Ned Yost would go to Chris Getz to pinch run. Getz is a starter tonight. You go to Gerard Dyson to pinch run. Dyson's a starter tonight. So Ned had Francoeur on the bench, Yuniesky Betancourt, Salvador Perez.
Frenchie's your best option.
And that's through the right side. Shin-Soo Choo has a very good arm, and he'll heave it toward third, but it's cut off. So first and third, 2 down.
Okay, Moose checking in on another elevated fastball. Quick hands, he turned on it, hit the hole, and Frenchie, if he wasn't loose, he is now. Going to take a 2-out knock or a wild pitch in this one here. Brian Pena, love to be a hero.
Now here's an important statistic with a runner at third base and the game on the line. Wild pitches. And Rogers with the Rockies and the Indians combined has 7 wild pitches this year. 5 with Colorado, 2 with Cleveland.
Wow.
So
Never know.
Francoeur has to be ready for that. Moustakas will take second base as Pena takes a strike. No stolen base.
No, but it keeps him from getting it out over there at second base on a ground ball. So, nothing wrong with doing that.
There's a pitch in the dirt, and Marson may have just saved the game.
Ooh, I think Marson has the idea that that little cutter breaking ball that Rogers is throwing, if it's down low like this one here, he's going to do all he can to stay in front of it and smother. Nice job. Frenchie up at the top left of your screen. He had a good walking lead, hitting up on your right foot. Have that weight coming forward so you can advance quickly on a ball that's topped, or a bouncer that gets away from the catcher.
You know, we say it all the time. That's something that won't be shown on the highlight films. Now, if an infielder or an outfielder made a diving play to save the game, it would make the replays. But Lou Marson just saved the game. Pena grounds it to first. Santana juggles, recovers, and we will head to the 11th inning in a 6-6 tie. Extra Innings brought to you by Jack Link's. Jack Link's beef jerky all summer long. Royals with 6 runs in the first inning and now scoreless over the next 9. The Indians tied the game in the 5th, so no runs since then. Aaron Crow is the 6th Royals pitcher tonight. He closed out the game on Tuesday in a non-save situation. The Royals won 8-3, and Crow had a scoreless 9th with 2 strikeouts. He faced Kochman, Hanahan, Chu, and Cabrera on Tuesday. It'll be Michael Brantley leading off the 11th inning tonight. Below the knees for ball 1. On the ground to Hosmer. He'll go to the bag to get Brantley. 1 down in the 11th.
That's how you do it. Just keep her down. Let him hit that ball at your defenders. Good job. He's got a good hard fastball slider. Crow. He's a solid back end of a bullpen guy.
And that's 8 in a row now, retired by the Royals bullpen, going back to the final out recorded by Herrera in the 8th. Collins faced 3, retired 3 in the 9th. Holland did the same thing in the 10th. Royals had the winning run on in the 9th and in the 10th. Jose Lopez 2 for 3 with a walk tonight. 1-1. Two balls, 1 strike. Out of play, 2-2.
Moustakas, he's went over towards the line in third base. I want to stay away from any doubles that get by him over there. So he's kind of moved over a little bit more towards that line to the right-handed batter Lopez. I want to have him sneak one down by there. Dyson's playing him to pull in center field.
Still 2-2 on Lopez. No matter what was going to happen tonight, the Indians were going to have a long night because they will fly to Detroit after the game. And of course, they lose an hour going to the Eastern time zone. So they'll be arriving in the middle of the night. The Royals will be home to begin a 3-game series with the Rangers tomorrow. And the Rangers will have a late arrival to Kansas City. Backhanded Escobar. Lopez does not run well, so he has plenty of time to throw him out.
Okay, good focus. Long night at the ballpark. Infielders are still sharp. Aaron Crow gets that ball and throws it. That helps them keep their rhythm in that infield. Keep them alive. Make a play like that for him.
And now Vinny Rotino. 0 for 3. He had a sac fly back in the 2nd inning. Racine, Wisconsin, and Vinny Rotino don't really go together, do they?
No.
Yeah. It sounds more like somebody who's from Hackensack, New Jersey. Right?
It does.
Or Philadelphia.
They're Northeastern.
No swing. Mike Estabrook, the umpire at first base.
You know, with the Rangers coming in here, that was been an emotional 4-game series against their rivals in the West, the Angels, and maybe there'll be a little letdown, especially after a walk-off win coming up here this inning.
Good job by the bullpen tonight, beginning with Herrera, Collins, Holland, and now Aaron Crow with a scoreless 11th. Final game of 3 between the Royals and the Indians, and we appreciate you staying up late with us tonight. We have a question from Derek by way of Twitter. Now it's more of a statement. Extra inning baseball beats Olympic gymnastics any day.
I like it. Way to go, Derek. Glad you're with us. Talk them into getting a win here right here in this at-bat.
One thing that we can offer to fans hanging in with us as opposed to the Olympics, we can't tell you what's going to happen. We can tell you that Hosmer is going to single into right field to begin the 11th. Royals got a pair of 2-out hits in the 10th, but Esmiel Rogers, who's still in there now, was able to get Pena to ground out. So the winning run is on base now for a 3rd straight inning.
Okay, now the lineup's turned over all the way down to the bottom with Getz. I mean, not exactly turned over, but it's down in that lower third where Getz is a good bunter. We saw Dyson pop one up. You don't want that here. Get him, get the ball down, and get the winning run to second base.
I would think this would be a tough guy to bunt on, no matter how skilled you are, and Getz is about as close to a black belt as there is. And he gets it down. Rogers will flip to first, and the winning run moves up to second base. So Getz gets the job done. And now Dyson has a chance to redeem himself.
Good job. Total plate coverage on that bunt. Gave himself up in plenty of time to get the job done. Got the hands out in front so he could see it. Just get the first pitch down. That's always the easiest in a situation like that. First one you see, get it down. Good job. Outfielders are shallow. They've moved in.
Inside to Dyson, swinging the bat. Dyson has 7 hits in this series.
And he's hitting .286 with the runner at second base and third in scoring position. So he's been pretty productive knocking runs in.
One and one from Rogers. And as I told you, in the bottom of the 9th inning, Chris Getz walked against Vinny Pisano. Dyson tried to bunt, and he popped out to third, and then Gordon grounded into a double play. Now Dyson with a chance to win the game. In the dirt, there's the wild pitch the Royals didn't get last inning, but one here puts the winning run at third.
Yeah, that'll open it up a little bit more for Dyson. Zach is going to have to bring the infielders in So that'll give him more lanes to shoot the ball through. Boy, this ball was way short.
And I don't think that wild pitch right there would have scored Francoeur, but
no,
good enough to get Hosmer over to third in this inning.
But Lou Marson, he did a good job as far as that ball bounced. Now, just want to keep your swing short if you're Dyson. Outfielders are all well in too. Who wants the ball? Oh, there's timeout. Yeah. Laz Diaz will point to whoever called time there, and he's pointing to Lou Marson.
Would the Royals try a squeeze? Dyson takes in the dirt. 3 balls and 1 strike.
It's a good option. I think with Gordon on deck, maybe not.
But that's where the squeeze is such a wild card play, because it's all about the element of surprise.
Yeah, and you know, it's game over. Do or die.
Dyson grounds it foul. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The Royals have not scored since a 6-run first inning. That was against starter Corey Kluber, who then settled down after that, was able to go 4 1/3 innings. And the Indians scored in the 2nd, in the 3rd, and the 5th to tie it. No runs have scored since the Indians' 2-run 5th inning. 1 out, bottom of the 11th. The winning run is at third base. And Dyson is still alive. Dyson has gotten some playing time because Ed Yost decided Jeff Francoeur needed a physical and a mental break. And so Francoeur, he hasn't been in a game since Saturday at Seattle. He did appear tonight as a pinch runner. Dyson, shallow center field. It'll be a short throw for Brantley, and Hosmer will hold.
Yep, those outfielders all come in for a reason, especially for a hitter that most of the time just kind of slaps the ball like Dyson, and it paid off there. There's 2 outs, and it's up to Gordon.
Now let's see how comfortable the Indians are pitching to Alex Gordon. Do they want to give him a chance to win the game, or would they rather set up a lefty-lefty?
Well, why not just bring Chris Perez in? Well, that's a slow walk.
I was thinking the same thing.
Man, he was taking his time getting out here. Drive has been down. Actor's got to feel pretty good about them coming back in this one after being down by 5 runs. Actually 6 at the very beginning. Perez has been throwing.
Hosmer opened the inning with a single. Getz bunted him to second. A wild pitch got him to third, and they will intentionally walk Alex Gordon. And with that first throw by Rogers, Hosmer still might want to be alive at third base. And Parson, he's really on his toes. He's not getting strikes or very easy deliveries from Rogers on this intentional walk.
Yeah, no, you just can't stand on third base and watch these pitches go by, because you can't assume anything. You got to get a lead at least, and if he does miss the ball or something, you got to be ready to score. But it's going to be up to Escobar, who will take it as a challenge, a personal challenge. You walk the guy ahead of you, you say, okay, even though it was a situational deal. Now we'll see if he goes and gets his closer. There's no urgency to his walk, but Perez is ready and he's coming in, and Escobar's going to get a chance to.
Let me ask you a question. Why did he have to walk all the way out there for an intentional walk? mean, isn't that something that can be done from the dugout?
Yes, but he wanted to give Perez some time to get loose.
Well, that explains it. It also explains the slow walk out to the mound.
That's right.
With runners at first and third and 2 down in the bottom of the 11th inning. And the Royals have been motivated against Perez ever since this act at Jacobs Field, showing excellent balance to end the game here.
That was ugly. And the Royals didn't care for it, so now they got a chance. That's what they've been waiting for. Same batter, Escobar, has got a chance to try to just slap one up the middle. Perez, 6'4", 225 pounds. He's got a 95-mile-an-hour fastball slider.
Lopez is in at third, knowing that Escobar will lay down a bunt, and a slider is in for strike one. Hosmer at third, Gordon at first. Third straight inning, the Royals have had the winning run on. Got the outside, no balls, 2 strikes.
Two sliders. Escobar, good hitter with 2 strikes. All he needs is to flare something out there.
And now Alex runs. The pitch is down and away. Another huge save by Marson. No steal for Alex Gordon as the Indians allowed him to advance to second base.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Marson, he's got to be on edge back there. I mean, he's the hardest working guy so far in the last few innings. The runners at third base, guys bouncing balls in there. The pressure's on him to block it. He's been really good.
Perez does not have a wild pitch this year. Escobar, ground ball, base hit left field. The Royals scored 6 runs in the first inning, and then they played an entire game without scoring a run. And with 2 outs in the bottom of the 11th inning, Alcides Escobar picks up his first career walk-off hit. And the Royals sweep the Cleveland Indians for the first time in 6 years.
Tough with 2 strikes. Escobar pays back Perez. timely hit.
And Perez went running off the mound before he had a chance to see the Royals' on-field celebration.
Didn't want to see it.
So a 3-game sweep for the Royals. 7, 6, and 11 innings tonight. Let's go down to the field, and here's Joel.
All right, Ryan, thank you very much. How sweet this one was. A sweep of the Indians. Chris Perez on the hill, and the first walk-off for Alcides Escobar. How exciting to be a part of this.
I'm so excited. That's my first World Cup in the Major League. I'm so happy right now. We got a win for the team, and good job for Holtzman to get on base, and I'm happy like you said before.
I know you're still out of breath, but take us through that at bat, what you were looking for, what happened?
You know, I'm trying to looking for fastball. He threw me to a slider in the row. Say, I'm looking for my pitch. I see it and can hit the ball, and I'm passed to the left field.
A little extra exciting that it's against Chris Perez, who has said some things about you guys.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm so excited, and that guy, you know, he's doing really good on the mound, and I'm be the Indian in those 3 games.
All right, Esky, we'll let you go catch your breath. Haas, come on in here. And Eric Hosmer started things off, or was a part of the big beginning in the first inning. But let's focus on the end of the game here. And what were you guys able to do here in the 11th inning?
Just coming into that inning, I'm just trying to get on base, and Getzy did a great job getting me over there, and just get it to the top of the lineup. And that's just the kind of year Esky's been having. He's been doing it all year, and he's putting the team on his back and carrying us the whole way.
First 3-run home run on the year for you, and it just seemed like everything was clicking in the first. What worked in the first, and then what happened the rest of the way?
Yeah, we came out swinging, and that's a good team over there. We knew they weren't going to go down without a fight, and they came back, and it was good pitching in between, and we came and got the big hit here at the end, and it's a big sweep for us in the division.
I know you're not supposed to talk trash. Well, their guy talked a little bit of trash the opening series here with the Tribe Time junk and all of that, but feel a little extra special to get him?
Yeah, just having the team in your division, and that's why you play the game in between the lines, and Esky's been doing it all year, like I said, and for him to do that and let his bat do the talking was a beautiful thing.
Great job tonight.
All right, thank you.
That is Eric Hosmer. We heard from Alcides Escobar. Ryan, you didn't think there'd be any shots fired back the other way, did you?
No, I think the Royals are a little better than that.
Yep.
So, as Eric said, just let your bat do the talking. Let the on-field celebration do the talking. And the Royals sweep the Indians in a 3-game series. The Royals have won 7 of their last 8 against Cleveland. And now the Indians have lost 6 in a row. We'll be right back.